Hi, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight? How are you doing tonight, Brooke?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, y'all let me know how we're looking, how we're sounding. I have on my headphones tonight. I'm the only one who has headphones on tonight, and I just don't want it to be any kind of interference. Let me know. So this is the conversation that a lot of people were looking forward to. So a lot of you were looking forward to Brooke coming on for a completely different reason before. I have a lot of winos in here apparently, and I introduced them to you as the woman who, does the alcohol thing. And we
Which
have
I still
people
do.
really excited about that, which you do. And we'll talk about that at the end of the stream. But we have a really interesting conversation to get into tonight because so Brooke is the founder of the Bias Rehab Center that's headquartered in Houston, Texas. And she's going to talk to us about what I believe to me is a really lofty value proposition, ridding um, getting rid of racism on any level, whether it be, in 20 years or, 10 generations from now. I think that's a super lofty goal. And so if you read, the community tab before you came in here, or even the description of this video, then you know exactly what we're talking about, or you have an idea. So Brooke, is someone I know personally, and y'all seen her on the channel before. She's come on to just kind of talk a little mess with us about things here and there. But I appreciate her coming on tonight. And she's someone I know personally. We worked together for a short while, but we kept in touch, and we used to go work out together, go eat together after we worked
Yeah.
out.
Oh, do that
But
no more.
hey, um, it's just good knowing her, and I've been watching,
Melody.
her progress on Twitter. She's out there doing her thing. So here we have with us Brooke Sinclair. She's a businesswoman. She's a philanthropist. She's an activist. She is the CEO of the Bias Rehab Center. So Brooke, hello. Tell us a little something that you want us to know.
Hello. Thank you for having me. This has been one of the highlights of my week. Just really super excited to be here. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, it's a bit much. I'm gonna just tell you, I'm doing the most. Our goal is a bit lofty. Um, we believe that we can start to eradicate some of the behaviors of racism within the next 10 generations. And we believe that there is a cure for racism, um, because we believe that a bias is a preconceived notion. A notion is a habit that's formed through trial and error, through environment, and through conditioning. But if we can change your brain, change your frame of thinking, and rehab your biases,
Mhm.
we can breed out racism in the next 10 generations.
Okay, so let's hold it there. I'm going to say some hellos, and then we are going to get straight into this conversation. And if you all have questions, put them in the chat. And then toward the end of this, we'll, Brooke, do you have a little bit of, how much time do you have? Do we have 2 hours with you?
Yeah,
Okay,
I,
so
I
let's
wasn't
say,
sure how long I was going to be here.
okay. Look, we can stay until it's time for me to trade, girl, because I gotta go get my coin, and I can't, nothing holds that up. So I don't care who it is. If Megan Thee Stallion gives me an interview, look, unless she's giving me some coins, I gotta go get some coins, right?
Right.
Which would be to where the money resides, and
That's
that's on who my Mary had a little lamb. Okay, so let me say my hellos. We got Nakaya in the house. How are you doing, Nakaya? Thank you for being here. Lady B, our moderator extraordinaire, is in the house. Thank you for being here, Lady B. Let's see here. And she's on it, y'all. I love that she starts off every stream with giving out my cash app. Holler. Okay, let's see here. We also have Country Mama. How are you doing, Country Mama? Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. And Belda from Cali is in the house. How are you doing, Belda? And Miss Sweet Brown Sugar 504, our New Orleans girl, is in the house. How you doing? And we got Miss Cocoa Butter Barbie. I think she's are you in Dubai, Cocoa Butter Barbie? Is that where you are? I know that you're in some exotic place, but just keep talking in the chat, you guys, and I'll get to say all my hellos, and I'll be putting comments on the screen. And if you have questions, then please share those questions with us. Thank you, Lady B. She has the website for the Bias Rehab Center streaming in the chat right now, as I knew she would. And in case you're not catching this live, the website for the Bias Rehab Center is in the description box for this video. After we're live, I will go back and I will add their social media so that you can find them if you have more questions, because I'm thinking that we're going to have more questions. Oh, she's in Abu Dhabi. Excuse me. Okay, Abu Dhabi. I knew it was some place I'd never been. I know. Yeah, yeah. You know, I was like,
Thank you for making that.
Sorry. All right. So, Brooke, may I ask you some questions?
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, the first thing that I want to know is, does the Bias Rehab Center strictly focus on workplace microaggressions, bias, racism? Because now, are you talking about being able to get rid of workplace racism in the next 10 generations, or racism period by dealing with it in the workplace? What's the approach?
Racism period. And first, let me, I'm doing the most. We're doing the most. Okay. It's huge thing. So yes, racism period. We start initially by workplace trainings. So yes, we have a really awesome 11-step program that we use in workplace trainings, and it helps people to begin a path of breaking down the thoughts behind bias that they're taught. So one of our first step to rehab your bias is to admit that the bias you are taught today was passed down through your family for generations.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you working with people outside of workspaces? Are you all doing in-home training, like or is it pretty much okay, you do. Okay, so tell me, okay, so let's say I'm in this work environment and I have this woman who, okay, y'all saw me on here a couple of days ago, right? And I had black straight hair, right? And then let's say I were to go into the workplace today and I have this hair, and then I get some woman, we will call her Rebecca, okay? And so Rebecca says to me, oh my gosh, Ty, like your hair, it's so different from how it was just yesterday. How do you change it like that? Can I touch it? Has anyone ever experienced anything like that? So let's say I have that kind of situation going on at work. Do I call the Bias Rehab Center and say, hey, can you come pick this woman up? How does it work? If I want you all to deal with the people that are, that I feel like they're biased in my workplace?
Yes. So what you do is you contact the Bias Rehab. You can contact us. You can find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube messages. Besides just email, just email us, contact us, and we will approach that company and alert them that perhaps they may be in need of some inclusion, some new inclusion tactics. We won't ever tell your name. You're always anonymous. And then so we'll start to make contact with that company and just start to ask them questions like, hey, so when you increased your your diversity awareness, was your first tactic to just simply increase your numbers? And just be like, oh, I could see how you would think that would be a really good idea. So we just start, that's to get into the door, to make them more comfortable. And then we take them through the 11-step process, and they never know that it was you. They just know that an employee, anybody. So if you're the only Black person, that might be really obvious. I'm sorry. Right.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah. So that's where we start in the workplace. And then we start the 11-step program. What's so awesome about it is it makes each of them in the corporate meeting, and then, because we only help white people. We take referrals and stuff from Black people, but we always tell them, if you have Black people in your leadership or executive training, give them the day off with pay. We recommend, we cannot force. But we let them know that we want to give all the white people a chance to be vulnerable and to hear themselves without any interruptions.
Wow. Okay. So I have a question. Cocoa Butter Barbie wants to know, do you work with the federal government agencies?
We are fairly new, but yes. And when I say that fairly new, like, we haven't necessarily tried to, but yes, we would. That would be great if you have some, especially now with the new guy in office, Biden.
Would you go to Abu Dhabi to do some training?
I would. Yes.
All right. Not saying that's
right now. I'm coming.
Well, okay. It's been nice talking to you, Brooke. Thank you for. I'll put y'all on an email together, and let's go on and get this going. Okay. So, what can you tell us, or can you tell us anything about the 11 steps?
Yes, I can tell you some stuff, because it's actually the 11 steps. We've gone ahead and just publicly published them on Medium. So we have a Medium account, the publication called The Hard Truth. If anybody knows Medium. And so we actually have them printed, the 11 steps. So I obviously, they're somewhat derivative, loosely associated, right? Allegedly not really copyrighted or anything like that. But the idea is to take your old habits and change them into new habits to enrich your life. So that general concept is there.
Okay.
So we believe that one day people will say, I'm 30 years bias rehab. Like, we're trying to get to people, the white people, to help them learn how to be bias rehab. And where I left off with the story of when they're in the corporate setting, they each make a commitment, and then we follow them home, right, with following through on that commitment. And we're able to introduce them to the YouTube show.
Okay. So tell me this. So when you get that person who makes the initial contact with you, come in, help me with these people in my office. Do you ever follow up with that person after the training? And do they tell you, hey, they're treating me much better now? How is it that you're able to, I guess, evaluate the real results, the tangible results?
So that part, I will be honest, we haven't exactly figured that part out yet, because
How new are you? I guess explain, how new are you? That we should tell that as well.
Yeah, so actually we're just coming up on a year into coming out of research and development, so a full year of being a company. Yeah, so really the idea for the Bias Rehab Center was born out of watching Karen attack videos when quarantine hit. And I noticed that there was a sudden uprise and uptick in the number of Karen attacks and videos. So I said, I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Who does this remind me of? Crackheads. And so I said, I think this is an addiction. So I had to, really study the Karens and really get to understand, like, what is their motivation? What's behind that? And we came up with the hypothesis that we believe the biased thoughts and actions within privilege are an addiction. They're addicting. And so when you see a Karen attacking an unsuspecting person, what you're really seeing is a crackhead, like fiending, like.
So, okay, are you saying that like these Karens are the people who work in HR who would normally be, the ones like not, passing you up for your raise or doing some kind of sneaky underhanded stuff. And because they've been, having to sit at home, they haven't had the chance to go and attack some Black person in some sneaky underhanded way. So now all this, is built up and now it's time. And so now I see you at the grocery store and I'm going to call you the N-word. Is that what you're saying is what's happening?
Exactly. Because they were around their white family. Yes. And they were just like, oh, I can't be mean to them. I need a Black person or like a minority. Where's a Mexican when you need one? And so, yes.
Okay, so tell me this. You said that you only work with the white people in the office. So what if there are Asian people who are attacking a Black person because they can be, and even a lot of Latinos, frankly, can be just as racist as anyone else. So you all don't work, you make it a policy to not work with them, or would you take calls? Let's say an Asian person is calling you and saying, hey, they're saying, they're translating my speak and they're saying ching chong chang chong chung. Would you help this Asian person? And I got that from my my Rush Limbaugh piece that I did on Sunday. That was him translating for a Chinese president because he was so, amazing. So if an Asian person or if a Latino person calls you and says, hey, they keep calling me the maid, would you help them?
Yes, of course. So for the employer, and we do get this question a lot. So for the employer, we ask them, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but we ask them if they are comfortable giving a selection criteria to their employees. So like a bubble. So we have Black adjacent, I identify as Black. Like maybe there's I've known lots of Asian people, Vietnamese, Japanese, and Chinese who identified more with Black culture. Like I mean, not just stereotype people, but I feel like the Jabberwockies and when you see there's a certain subculture of Asians who really gravitate towards Michael Jackson and, hip hop culture. So we classify them as Black adjacent. It's slightly not racist. And then we give it, and then or they can be white adjacent. Maybe they are the type of Asian person who grew up around white girls, upper crust privileged, has grown up with celebrity millions, and you're just living that lifestyle. But yet you're saying to yourself, hey, even though I'm in this upper crust society, they're calling me the maid. So yeah, we would ask the employer to, give those selection criteria to them. And then those who identify as Black are welcome to participate. We don't have any restrictions. But we also let them know that the purpose of that meeting is so that white people have the space to be incorrect and be corrected by professionals, by trained social workers, licensed therapists, psychotherapists, legal professionals. So it's not a place to attack the white people for not knowing, because they're not supposed to know. We know that they don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Okay. I want to say hi to is I don't know if it's Nisi or Nicey. I'm guessing Nisi, but tell me if I'm incorrect. Hi to Nisi and hi Indigo Sense. Thank you all for coming into the room. Okay, I want to ask you this. So I asked you, but then I kind of threw in another question. So yes, you will help non-Black people who are saying, that they are, that they are having these acts committed against them. But what about a Black person who's saying, I have Asian people who are being racist to me? Will you come and train the Asian people? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's not that you're just training white people alone. It's whoever's being racist. You're training them without the other people around.
Correct. You're right. And that's a good point. So we want the dominant culture to be freely able to interact and not further traumatize those who are the victims of the situation. So really, I guess what we're saying is allow the victims to go home and go ahead and break them off a piece.
Okay. So how open have employers been to, people contacting you, and how many are you all getting a lot of like people saying, hey, come save me from these crackers? Like, what's going on?
Yes. Right. We have a number. God is good. Okay.
All the time.
Right. So, I mean, yes, we've had some incredible responses. Weirdly, luckily, I don't know, everything from the election to the recent inauguration, past January 6th and then the inauguration. And now we're just living just regular style. And so all of this has been it's been helpful to open a lot of dialogue. Um, we've been able to work with some really incredible Silicon Valley investors. And I won't name any specific names, but like incubators, accelerators. We followed up with an article, the top 25 Silicon Valley VCs least likely to invest in founders of color. I just realized how incredibly long that title is. But yeah, we published a list that warned Black people, Black tech people, who to not waste their time on. Like, these are the investors who claim that they want to be investing in Black people. They say that they're allies, but when it comes time to write a check, they always got an excuse.
Gotcha. Okay, let me say a couple more hellos. We got Alethea saying hello to Ty and Brooke. Hi, Alethea. Thank you for joining us tonight. And for those of y'all who want to know where the money really resides, apparently it's all there with Alethea in Brooklyn. She trades her ass off. So she's the one who got us into trading. If you are interested in that, then y'all hit up Alethea. Alethea, feel free to put your email address, because we do have people who are express interest in that pretty much every time I mention it. And we have some people in the chat who are trading with us, and we're earning our money. Alethea is a huge help with that. Hello, Ear Hustler. Hi, how are you doing? I love your name. Ear Hustler wants to know which age groups are more receptive. And hello to everybody.
Hi, Ear Hustler. That's a great question. Oddly enough, we have not seen a dominant group. We get a weird range of hippie baby boomers who are like, hey man, this is not cool, man. Like, down to like the 22-year-old Silicon Valley founder who's trying to make his way, and he's he's kind of frustrated. He's like double dutching into inclusion versus I want to be my old racist self, you know? So we get it's hard. We have no group has dominated the two. They've been equally about the same right now.
Do you all call that withdrawal symptoms or something when they're doing that?
You know, no, we don't necessarily give it a term. It just kind of like drugs, unfortunately. It People go through various stages of awareness as they make their own path to enlightenment.
Yeah.
Right? So like it's the same thing with racism because they're coming out of their natural racist selves and they're going into this unknown person that they've never been before, they're not really comfortable with, and they feel like they want to be inclusive, like they have at least two Black friends and they see some other Black people that they want to talk to, but at the same time, this is what I know. Good old racism. Ding, 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 ding,
Right.
ding, 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 ding. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice, it's familiar, it's comfortable, it works for me. I don't have any problem with it, you know. What is everyone complaining about, you know? Yeah, yeah, I understand. And like I tell Alethea, we talk a lot, and I told her, and it was a friend of mine from Texas. You know, Brooke and I are in Texas, and we're in different places, but we're in Texas. And a friend of mine from high school, he moved to Los Angeles, and he's doing some really good things in the entertainment world. But he said that one thing that he noticed about being outside of Texas, he said that two things that we have going for ourselves. We are very polite. We have our manners, and we are also very racist here. It's manners and racism. Like, and I never thought about it, but he's right. And the perfect illustration was when my parents bought their retirement home in really, you know, great area, but it's a rural area. They wanted some land, and you know, it's a lot of people driving around with their Confederate flags, you know, on the backs of their trucks and everything. And so I stopped to get, you know, fuel on the way into the community. And I'm looking at these, you know, these guys literally hop out of this huge red pickup truck with the, you know, Confederate flag, you know, painted in the back window of the truck. And so I'm just going in. I just want to get my fuel. I want to get out of there. I want to get to someplace safe. And so I walk up to the door, and then one of them runs up to open the door for me. Hello, ma'am. Yeah, how you? And I'm like, you know what? But even the most racist white guy will open the door for a woman. That's just how it is in Texas. That's how it is. Like, we have manners and we have racism, and it's just these things are kind of just here to stay, you know. But you know, maybe there will be some change thanks to places like the Bias Rehab Center. So let me say hello to Australia. Thank you for coming, Australia. How are you doing? Okay, so I did a little write-up, and you know, to entice you all, hopefully, to come here. I put in my community tab. I put it out on my Twitter. If you're not following me there and you don't get notifications for this channel, follow me on Twitter, because I'm pretty much post everything in my community tab. I post it with as, you know, many characters as I can get away with on Twitter. So I had to narrow it down. So, you know, Brooke and I were kind of, you know, doing a little bit of brainstorming to see how we needed to word this to get you all here. And one of the things that we mentioned, and you all let us know in the chat, have you had people at your jobs now or ever coming up to you asking you Black stuff? You know, that, you know, they're probably a little bit uncomfortable to ask, or they should be, but, you know, they're not uncomfortable to not ask it. You know, they might ask you in a hush hush tone. Are these things that you all deal with in your workplaces? And Brooke, how common is this? And are you getting calls from all over the country, from all over the world? And how, like, at what rate are you all able to deal with it?
Oi, we are getting calls from all over the country. COVID has taken racism to the digital streets. You know, now that people are working remotely, at least from what I've seen, there's less like microaggressions, like the normal workplace microaggressions that people would say at work in the job. They don't necessarily say anymore because they're in their physical own home and they're, maybe their kids might hear them, maybe they care about their kids hearing them, but it's just it's like the microaggressions got a little bit louder and more specific in some areas, but you don't interact with them as much because you're in your own house right now. You're working remotely.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it. And Indigo, since I do agree, and I'm saying Texas, but it is a Southern thing. You're absolutely right. I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got people asking us Black stuff that I know that they know is inappropriate. I mean, because these things never come up in meetings, right? Just a little tag along at the end of a meeting in front of everyone. Okay, so and I know you can't tell us specifics, but have you ever had a request for you all to come into a workplace from someone who sounds just really desperate about the situation that they're facing at work? Or is it mostly like, hey, does it kind of just sound like a complaint, like, I don't want to deal with this? Or is it like, I'm going to, quit, I'm going to go postal, I'm going to commit? So, like, what's the level? I mean, are there levels? Or some people kind of like, hey, this is an annoyance, or most people like, look, this is ridiculous, I'm so glad you're here?
We get a lot of the latter. We get a lot of that, like, people are freaking out. We offended somebody. We, da 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 da. It's like crisis is happening right now. We get a lot of that, more so than anybody else.
Okay. Okay, so do you find there's so much, like, there's so many layers to this. It seems like this is something I would never get into. So let me first say I admire that you're doing this work. I would never invest myself into something that I couldn't see like come to fruition in my lifetime. And so like that's what, like, all that anything activism, I like will donate some money or something, and I'll like, say, hey, way to go, for you for putting in the work. To anyone, like, I have no desire to, bring the Black community together. Girl, like, no, like, I don't have the time. I don't have the patience, but I do have an appreciation, for people who are trying. I just personally don't have the patience to do it. But that's just, that's me. I want to know, I'm looking at Ear Hustler's comment, and Ear Hustler says, I've always thought that as the older generations die out, mine included, Gen X, the racial relationships will improve. The younger generations seem to be more open. Do you find this to be a reality in the work that you do? I don't really seem to find that in what I see just in social media. I see a lot of racist kids on TikTok. Okay. And I mean, they're learning it from someone, and I mean, it's something, I don't see that as a reality from what I look at. But I want to know, you're doing this kind of work, what do you think?
That's a theory, a prevalent theory that is often perpetuated by those who want to be left alone to prosper. That is definitely not a reality, and I can see how you would think that, because if you look at American history, I mean, just regular overall global history, but specifically American history from a larger perspective, yes, there has been quote unquote less racism now then, right? But it's not. The racism has just adapted, it's become more digital, it's, evolved into a whole new type of racism.
That's
right?
The word I always use, is evolved racism.
And then here's this one thing that I really got somebody about, or two things rather. So first of all, imagine when you're a child. Where do you learn to brush your teeth? By watching your mom and dad. Your mom and dad teach you, and you're going to mess it up and you're going to poke yourself in the face sometimes and whatever. Who teaches you how to tie your shoes? Well, maybe your aunt or your uncle or you're not thinking about the racist rhyme that they might be teaching you about how to tie your shoes, because there's all sorts of different little nursery rhymes and stuff that people will make little songs for them, or like get a rope, tie around, pull the noose. You never heard that one?
No, that's not how I learned how to tie my shoes. I didn't know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing.
Well, there's another.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. I just didn't know.
There's one about bunnies. Like, right? That's a song that people.
I've heard about bunnies. I didn't know there was a song, but I've heard about bunny ears and pulling. Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah,
that.
Same thing, but they just have a different version.
That's news to me. Okay, so in the chat, did you all know about the noose and tying shoes song? I did not know. I had no clue. Didn't know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing, and I've been in the South most of my life. I didn't know that. Wow.
So I mean, it on a very simplistic level, like when you really think about how ingrained the racism is, that's why we say 10 generations to breed it out. Because as you're learning to tie your shoes, you don't know that rhyme is racist. You don't know that the way you're brushing your teeth is racist, right? Because you're just brushing your teeth. But that's how simplistic racism is when they teach it to them.
Wait, there's a racist way to brush your teeth? They got a song for that too?
No, I'm just saying, like, just like versus up and down versus circular, or some people start in the back and they work their way front. I don't know. I did the most again on that one.
Okay, I thought that there was another song I didn't know. Okay, well, don't get me on Google. I'll be on here all night. Like, oh Lord, they got songs for everything. Who knew they were so musical? Okay,
picnic. The word picnic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I do know about the origins of that.
Okay.
Does everybody know about that? If you don't, we'll tell you. Now that I do know, but I didn't. Yeah. Wow.
Eeny, Miny, Mo started out as racist.
I did know that. I did know that as well. Yeah. I didn't know that there was a racist shoe tying song. That's interesting. So they slip up in the, you don't get your toothbrushing correct. You don't get that down pat right away. You don't get the tying your shoes. That's tricky, for a lot of kids at first. But somehow, like when it's just outright racism, they get that. Like it sticks. They know how to call you the N-word on the playground, and they say it correctly. There's no stuttering over that word. So that's interesting. Like, why is that such an easy thing to learn? And some things are so hard to learn. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Nisi, and tell me again, Nisi, if I'm saying it wrong. She says, I had a white coworker make a nasty comment about someone else having nappy hair in front of me. Like she thought it was so funny. I was taken aback and didn't know how to handle the situation. Now I realize, Brooke, you are the CEO of this company. You're not a licensed therapist. Am I correct? Unless something, you could have gotten some degrees since we last talked. Okay. So do you know, now is the focus though, I'm guessing that the focus is for the counselors to tell white people not to do that rather than to tell Black people how to deal with it. So do you all, is there ever an offer to Black people to say like, hey, well, this is what you do when these types of things happen? Or is the focus 100% on the people who are committing the racist acts? I don't want to say the white people, because like we said, we have established, in case you're coming in late, this is not just about, white people being racist against Black people. It's about people being racist against other people. And
Right.
so how does that work?
Yes. So we have a number of various mental health resources. Some black organizations, and some are just regular, mixture people organizations. So we do recommend people seek help, additional help from a mental health professionals. And we just try to support them and be, I mean, as a just a proponent for mental health, like, yay, go get you some mental health. But that's
Mm,
all we can do on that part.
okay. So how did you come up with that it will take 10 generations to breed out racism? Where does this come from? That's a long time, in my opinion, but it's a lot shorter than what I thought it would take, because I thought it would never, ever, that there was never hope. So tell me, how is it that 10 generations you came up with that?
Okay, so if we take the 4 generations that we've just been here in America, and you think about the fact that the number of white people who were against slavery was much smaller, a much smaller percentage of people, right? And if you think about organically over time, as those, when I say white people, I mean like the systematic people who identify as white. I'm not literally saying just white people, but if you think about the tactics that people of color have used to increase their humanity in the eyes of privileged, people, and how that has continued, it's only grown, it's only got bigger. Like, our efforts to be seen as humans have helped create more generations of people who are willing to be like, no, that's not okay,
Mm-hmm.
to their parents. A generation of white
Mm-hmm.
kids who are like, no, mom and dad, I'm not going to let you do that. And that there was even a
That's
girl
how
who
they say it.
no, you can't treat people like that anymore, mom.
Dude, come on. Like, it sucks.
But in the 50s, kids, from what we know, kids didn't really talk back and try to tell their parents, like, no, that's not how you treat a Negro. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But that
Yeah.
was because we got better at telling our message and like increasing our humanity, increasing the fact, like, unfortunately, the riots in the 60s and the civil peaceful protests that people watched us get beat up for. Of course, Emmett Till, that his mother was willing to let the whole world see her baby. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because of things like that that they were able to be like, oh, human being and black person are the same. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Um, I want to say hi to Morgan. How are you doing, Morgan D? Thanks for joining us. And you care to educate Lady B about picnic?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So, um, in the 1800s or so, I believe. Don't quote me on dates. So back in the day, let's just say that. Back in the
Mm-hmm.
day,
Mm-hmm.
uh, white people on Sunday would get dressed up in their Sunday best, and the cops would usually go, either they had a Negro already in jail, or they would just go pick up one off the street, and then they would string him up and tie him. And then the mothers and the children would lay out blankets, and they would have a nice Sunday feast and watch people get killed as you know, like
form of entertainment.
Right. Right. So the term picnic was started out as pick up a nigger. And then it came pick a nigger. And then through time, it just became picnic. And so, yeah.
So that's how. So I don't know if you will want to rethink these, nice picnics you plan on taking in the spring. Now that the weather's getting nice, you might want to call it something different. You might not. Hey, that's all that I've ever known it to be. But knowing that, I have a nice basket for food items,
Right.
and we're going to go to the park and have an outing with food items, and cheese and ham and wine.
Fresco. We'll dine al fresco.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, Lordy, yeah.
Did she say eeny meeny? Is that a thing she didn't know too?
She said that she knew about eeny meeny, but she had never heard the background on picnic. Yeah, okay. So she knew about that one. But 10 generations. So who's going to carry out the work?
So yeah, we're gonna teach people. I don't know. I mean, ideally, I will teach some people, right? And we'll keep it going. So yeah, we've been here 4 generations in America. So if you just double that, so if you think about like the time and like the time it became to even make allyship even cool, because even that was, they're not doing anything, but it became cool, and that's, you got to admit, that's different. Mm-hmm. So if you amplify double that and then add a little bit more, we just say 10. It's already a preposterous goal in and of itself.
It is. It is a lofty goal.
I mean, we'll just make it 10.
Okay, well, while we're talking about lofty goals, you want to tell us about some of your activism work, other work that I think, like, why do people do that? Like,
yeah, we are working on a project with actually some number of Black scientists who are interested in approaching Ivy League colleges who have been asking them to do free DEI work. And we're going to...
What is DEI?
Oh, sorry. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So they've basically been asking Black people, Black scientists, to work for free at teaching other younger Black kids. I don't know what they're doing, socializing with them. They're just basically putting up a front and being like, okay, we want to make it look inclusive. So you go talk to the Negroes, the new Negroes. And yeah. Sorry.
Oh, wow. What a crazy world we live in. Okay, at this time, do you mind if I go on and just extend the invitation in case anyone has anything that they want to ask you, if they want to come on and ask you a question?
Yes,
okay.
That would be great.
Let me do this. So I'm going to, in case you all have any questions that you'll want to ask Brooke about her work, about the Bias Rehab Center, here's the link to the stream. Feel free to join us. Let me put up the rules. Yeah, don't be scared. Y'all know we all just have our conversations here, and it's always all good. Yeah, so to me, like I said, it's the work that you do. It's beyond my comprehension, because I just kind of feel like a lot of things are so effed up, and it's just going to be that way. And I don't even have the energy to fight the power, where do you find the energy? What is it that drives you to do this work? What is it? Some just passion deep down inside? What is it? What is it?
Jesus. I just don't know. I too was a confused, lost one. Um, and so I guess I know what it's like to be confused about who you are in life. So I've had some identity issues in the beginning of my life, and I didn't appreciate being Black. It looked like the white kids and other kids who were not Black had better lives.
They did. There's a reason that it looked that way. It's a it's a tough thing to be Black. I mean, it just is. It's crazy. Like I love who I am, but I would never wish Blackness on, even the white person I hate the most. They would not understand it. Like it, y'all know. I mean, I don't know if everyone in here is Black, but it's a different way that we have to move about everything. It's difficult. It is just difficult being Black. And especially, in a place where you are the minority, and, there so many things come into play. I think that, like you, Brooke, I have a feeling that we have similar backgrounds. I grew up in mixed neighborhoods. I grew up in, mostly white school. If there were at any time from kindergarten to 12th grade, if there was more than 5 Black kids in my class, it was like, wow, there are so many Black kids in here. Like, Mom, you never believe, And so, so there's that. But then it was the rich white kids. Like, my parents did all right. They weren't struggling by any means. And around Black people, oh, y'all are rich. But they're like, no, I know what rich is, because we took a field trip to Kit Neckles' home, and that was a mansion. And like, we don't live like that. Like, yeah, I'll never forget. I was like, what, we just, and to this day, like, people ask me, like, why did y'all take a field trip to his house? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think, like, we just all, like, literally, that was the field trip. We walked from school to Kit Neckles' house, and it was this ridiculous mansion. And, like, it's like, okay, so this is, like, yeah, I'm like, there'd be no reason to walk those kids to my parents' house. Like, it was a nice house, lovely neighborhood, but once they saw a kid's house, certainly, like, why are we going over there to her house? What are we doing here? I would have been wondering the same thing, and not to diss my parents, like, they did great, but but yeah, I mean, you just see things like, okay, I'm working, I'll never. I guess my first little Negro wake up call, happened in middle school, where I was like, literally anything that I did in English class, 100, ace and every test, blah, blah. And then so when, where I'm going. Okay. So, we come to the award ceremony, and it's time to give the award for the best English student. And everybody knew I was going to get it. I mean, I'm damn near about to get up out of my seat before they call it name. And it's like, Andrea Smith. Like, what? The girl makes B's. Like, what do you mean? Like, and I cried. And my mom's like, well, look, I got to tell you, that's going to happen a whole lot more. And she was right. And it's just like, hey, this sucks. Like, it's like, but I was literally the best. Like, like what, like, this sucks. And so, yeah, there's a reason, why you thought, hey, those white kids, it sure looks like they're having a better time, because they were. And like, and then as adults, they are still. And it's just like, what the hell? Like, okay, so tell me about what took it to an identity crisis state for you.
I think I didn't know I was in an identity crisis until I came out of it. So yeah, of course, there were very few and far between Black dolls, right? I had a lot of white dolls, and all my white friends had parents, and I was like, oh, I want parents. And yeah, it just looked really good. It just looked really fun. I was like, man, I want to do some of that.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah. But when I went to India, I, as an adult, well, in college, that's when I really learned to appreciate and understand like how incredibly amazing blackness is.
Wow. Okay, Lady V is now asking. Oh yeah, because I'm sorry, I did see Ear Hustler mention that the eeny meeny. Would you explain?
Oh yeah. So the rhyme, the children's school rhyme, eeny meeny miny mo, it used to be eeny meeny well, still miny mo, catch a nigger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Something like catch a nigger, something, something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to kind of go hand in hand with the picnic thing. I always, it's like, is this what we're singing before we string up this person for our Sunday entertainment? Those things always seem to go very much hand in hand to me. Let's
Mhm.
see here. Hi, Nikki Pooh. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate y'all for coming in tonight. I know this is like not a typical conversation for this channel, but it's not a typical conversation, I don't think, for anywhere, except for, if I can mention, perhaps on the Bias Rehab YouTube channel, which yes. So I will pull a link for that if unless one of my moderators will, if you can find the is it called the Bias Rehab Center channel? What is the name of the channel, Brooke? Because I didn't
Oh,
have that before we started.
my bad. It's actually just Bias Rehab.
Bias
On
Rehab. If one of y'all can find that, and if y'all can't, let me know, and I'll take a little time to find it before we log off of here, and y'all go and support her over there. Support her here. Thank you for being here. But if you don't mind supporting her on her channel as well, and I'll, like I said, I'll add her social media for the Bias Rehab Center as well once we're done with this. So if y'all just come back and check out the description box. What are you gonna say, Brooke?
No, yeah, sorry. Thank you. Yes, for the YouTube, we really want to be a service for you, sort of. So allow us to be the ones to get white people straight. So we have a lot of very specific topics that we discuss. We do a lot of name calling as far as like Silicon Valley investors who are not worth our time. We really have a lot of great programming that's meant to replace you actually answering their questions. So please feel free to put us in your back pocket or bookmark us, or definitely subscribe if you can. And
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when they have videos coming up. Is it mostly live streaming? Is it edited videos that you upload? Is it a mix? What do you all do?
it's a mix. So we have the live show every other Tuesday, no invitation required,
What
and
time?
7 p.m. Central Standard.
Okay.
And then we do the call outs are edited, and then pretty much everything after that is edited.
Yeah. Okay, what are the call outs, if you don't mind telling us?
Yes, that's great. So call outs are actually corporate organizations, Silicon Valley investors, private equity firms, people who have made public pledges. Oh, not people, organizations, corporations who have made public statements of Black solidarity, but yet are not following through. So just like the other thing, if you'll tell us, we'll approach them, let them know, hey, you had this reaction at your store, or you know what I'm saying, like at your Home Depot, and I'm randomly saying a brand, but you had a bad interaction, customer experience. Can we help you with that situation? We reached out to, what's the girl, the Soho Karen one, who like attacked that boy.
Yeah.
So we reached out to that hotel. We didn't get called back, but that's the sort of thing.
Okay. Okay. So y'all want to hunt them down. So let's say that they would have responded. Where do y'all go from there? What happens next?
Well, so a call out is when they respond and say things like, no, we're good. We know that we have a problem, but we don't want to fix it. Then we do a call out.
Okay. Okay. Okay, got it. So you do give them a chance to respond, and then depending on how they respond, you either call them out, or if they do respond in a manner saying that we want to correct this, do you let people know that as well? And
No, if they
or
actually are looking for help, because some white people just genuinely, they're still in this state of shock. They were like, I don't know what's going on. What's good, like how do you fix something like this? And if you
Mhm.
offer them help, they're usually, you get one or two responses. Either they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hear from you, or
Mhm.
they're like, yeah, we know we have a problem, but we don't care about it. And
Yeah,
that's
we
where
like this.
right.
This benefits me. Why would I change this?
We're not changing. Yeah, and then
Right.
that's where I feel like we as Black people, right? Because we have some incredible dollar power. So that's why we do the call outs to let each other know, hey, keep your dollars in your pocket when it comes to so and so.
Okay. Sounds great. I'm always down for a good boycott. I'm always down for that. I am. I love now that I don't mind doing. I don't mind
Okay.
because I could see a difference, in my lifetime. But yeah, the rest of it, I'll leave to people with loftier goals than I have for sure. Okay, so Indigo Sense mentions colorism within the Black community. Double whammy. Do you all deal with colorism at the Bias Rehab Center? Is it all types of bias, or is it only racism bias?
No, we do all types of bias. We actually have a few independent contractors who are specifically, we ask them to focus on gender issues, on how to help people be more comfortable with pronouns and things of that nature. And they actually identify as they. Oh, yeah, I said that right. They identify as they. And, so we put it in the lane of people who can speak best to it. And yeah, colorism is you, and we specifically actually address colorism on a Clubhouse episode. So look for there's an episode called Clubhouse app where we talk about the racist rooms in Clubhouse. And we had a video on there that is Willie Lynch's no, it was Willie Lynch's letter on how to use mind control to control the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you need to pint the outside Negroes with the inside Negroes. You need to instigate hatred. Basically, it was like a recipe for instigation. So you need
Mm-hmm.
to tell them why you like them because they against you. Da da da
Mm-hmm.
da. Being messy, being gossipy. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so we read a letter from Farrakhan. No, he read the letter, and then we had a video, and then we talked about it.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, I have Georgia, 2 comments. She says, I just found out my daughter's teacher praises her in secret. She's 10. She told me when she gets 100 on her work and tests that her teacher pulls her aside and tells her good job, but to the white kids she announces to the class. I guess she does not. For when the white kids do well, she announces it to the whole class, but for her daughter, she only pulls her in to praise her privately. Do you ever get calls about things going on in schools? Have you ever gotten a call about, hey, I need y'all to go deal with my child's school because something's going on? That's a really huge thing because that has lasting impacts.
Yes, it does. Yes, we do. Yes. Quite a few school districts we've written proposals for, and we're waiting feedback. Yeah. And somebody that kind of goes back to that very first question in the beginning that we had about the how will it leave, right? Like if you don't have the bias training, it'll just die out organically. No, son. No, son.
Right.
Because they go into school and those racist teachers are finding innuendos into your child's mind frame. Just like the fact that, speaking of children, so we don't do Indian style anymore. They call it crisscross applesauce.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know when that happened, but in daycares no longer, let me say the upper crust, elite daycares and schools, they don't call it Indian style. They say sit down, crisscross applesauce.
Okay. Now Nikki Pooh says, did you know Justin Bieber has a song called Eeny Meeny? I did not know that. I know no Justin Bieber songs. Is it about any of this stuff? Girl, look, you asked the wrong person about anything Justin Bieber. I don't know what the fuck he's doing over there. I've never known what the fuck Justin Bieber is doing. I didn't know that. And for future reference, I will never know the answer to any Justin Bieber question. If y'all ask me, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I never have. Huh?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious your thoughts on Justin Timberlake and his recent.
I'm listening. I'm going to answer before you ask the question, but.
And his recent pseudo apology.
I'm so tired of Justin Timberlake. We denounced him on this channel back when he did the Super Bowl and did the performance with Prince. Prince's hologram, which is something that he said he never wanted. After Justin Bieber, publicly, tried to diss Prince about his height. Bitch, you could never. I'd rather see Prince in his casket than Justin Bieber alive on a stage. No. And Justin Bieber, we have no patience. We have no patience for Justin on this channel. Fuck Justin Bieber for life. His apology, I don't.
Timberlake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're not
Justin Bieber as well. Fuck both of them. But since we're talking about Timberlake, yeah, that was just a slip up. But yeah, we can fuck both of them because I know that Justin Bieber. I do know now. One thing I do know is that there's some footage of that little child saying the N-word somewhere. And once again, can we address these black men letting these white guys come into the culture using the N-word and white women? But whatever. That's a whole nother topic. I don't know if the Bias Rehab Center deals with that bullshit. But anyway, Justin Timberlake, though, no, fuck him for life, on every level. And I'm not even a big Britney Spears fan. But that apology, the pseudo apology was for Britney Spears, and Janet Jackson just got thrown in the mix in that apology. That apology was for Britney Spears. And yes, somehow he managed to slut shame her and she goes down in flames and his career gets, amazing. Thanks to who? Another black man, Timberland, okay, giving him hot beats. Nobody gave a damn about Justin Timberlake's music until Timberland started giving that boy hot beats. And then all of a sudden his music became something to listen to. And yeah, I'll admit, I didn't know who was singing Sexy Back when I was jamming to it in the gym. I thought it was a woman, but whatever. Okay. And then I learned it was him. Well, all right. I'll let it slide. I'm not going to buy it. Whatever. If I hear it, I hear it. But no, it's been fuck him for life on this channel. I don't care. And then as far as Janet Jackson is concerned, no, like that's the first person I ever stand was Janet Jackson. So we're just not gonna tolerate any Janet Jackson disrespect on this channel from anyone, and we're certainly not gonna tolerate fake apologies about it all these years later. after, you know, she gets banned from the Super Bowl, and then you go and perform and put on that lame ass, whack ass Super Bowl performance, you know, on top of it all. Like, no, he gets no love over here. No, speaking of Justins, right? So I don't know. Yeah, fuck both of them. Yeah, my bad, Justin Bieber. I mean, fuck you too, but I didn't mean you at that time. I meant the other one. So, but yeah, they can both go in the same trash bin, girl. Yeah, I don't have the time.
Okay, yeah, I feel the same. Yeah.
I have no tolerance. I have no tolerance for them and their bullshit.
I have to admit that, you know, bringing sexy back. Okay, I was confused because I was like, oh, I thought we weren't digging him. But at the same time, we also were bumping R. Kelly. So I was like, okay, I guess this is what we doing. Okay, like.
Girl, you bringing up everybody who's been banned from my channel. Girl. You know, it's amazing what a hot beat will do, you know, for Negroes, you know, like, let's forgive them, you know, we're stepping in the name of love. It doesn't matter if he raped them girls, you know, it's all good. Like, what? Like, okay, like, oh man, yeah, we just lose all sensibility when we hear a hot song come on, you know. That's something I remember my dad used to talk about, because, you know, well, we grew up, well, you're from Houston originally, right? Okay, so we grew up with 102. Oh, okay, I did not know that. How long have you been in Houston?
A long time.
Okay, so then you've been there long enough to know that when we were younger, Magic 102, and I don't know if they still do it, but you know, there was always like the big, you know, Martin Luther King club party or whatever. And my dad, oh my God, I'll never forget, he was like, man, he said, and I don't like the N-word, but my dad, you know, and he tell me not to use it, but he was like, man, niggas are partying about anything. Why are we partying about Martin Luther King and civil rights? Like, why are we at a club? But I'm like, Dad, I don't know. Like, I'm sure, like, I felt like the white person who's uncomfortable when black people are saying the N-word around them. Like, I don't know. Why are you calling them that? Like, I won't be there. Like, I had to have been like in the 4th grade, but my dad's just like, good God, he's like, there's got to be a time when we, you know, when we can put the partying aside and like, you know, care about something a little bit bigger. Like, he's like, there's got to be a more respectable way than, you know, to honor, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King than at Jamaica, you know, ladies get in before 11 o'clock for free, and you know, girl, like, yeah, my dad is just not with the foolishness. He's like, yeah, and I guess like being someone who, you know, our parents, you know, they lived through the civil rights movement. Like, why are you fuck Negroes at the club partying about, you know, this man who was assassinated, you know, trying to get y'all some civil rights, you weirdos? It's so stupid. Oh gosh. Hi, Wings and Mumbo Sauce. How are you doing? Our love is here. Hey, Wings and Mumbo Sauce. I'm glad you could make it tonight. Okay. And there's Morgan is also co-signing your crisscross applesauce. I'd never. Now I've heard crisscross applesauce. I just didn't know that it replaced sitting Indian style. I didn't know that it had replaced that. That's weird and stupid. Oh gosh. Yeah, exactly. Fuck both of them Justins. Look, my bad. I did misspeak. I'll call myself out. I misspoke, but
It's okay.
But both of them can. Yeah, they can both go to hell. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Georgia says black people are way too accepting. Yeah, talking about invited to cook. They are. We are. You know, I talked about this on my most recent one. I don't even remember what I talked about. What I don't remember what the live stream was, but I know I mentioned this recently on a live stream about inviting everybody to the cookout. Like, this is stupid, and we got to stop this. And this is coming from, I do date interracially, but even my man cannot come to the cookout. I will bring you a plate. You sit your white ass at home. You're not coming to the cookout. You don't have any, you know, special privileges. You're not going to be using the N-word. You're not going to be bopping to Tupac when he's doing it. No, that everyone cannot come to the cookout. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. You make yourselves look like clowns.
We do a lot of detriment, we make ourselves look like clowns quite a lot. I've been around the world, and Black people, brown people with melanated skin, maybe the niceness is, the courtesy is in the melanin. I mean, in India, they're very hospitable.
That's interesting to know.
No, I just made that up. That's not real. I just said that.
Oh.
I just okay. No, that's not real.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. My bad. Yeah, we're the only ones though inviting everyone to the cookout, We're the only ones doing that. Why do we do that? What, like, we got a problem. We need to call the Bias Rehab Center on ourselves sometimes. Like, it's crazy. I mean, and Indigo is saying that Usher brought him onto the scene, and you're right, he did bring him onto the scene, but we didn't care when he first came onto the scene, and I don't think anybody ever really cared about Justin Bieber. Nobody cared about him, but you're right, it was another Black man ushering another white guy onto the scene, for our thank you. Little wordplay there for you. But that's what it always is. Hey, y'all, T.I. with Iggy Azalea. Hey, I'm going to buy this Australian girl an ass. No, she doesn't have any skills on the mic. But look, she's got a booty just like Nicki Minaj. Hey, girl, do your thing. It's always that. And that's why I don't have any pity for any of them Negroes who are sitting in prison right now behind Tekashi 6ix9ine while he's free as a bird, didn't even serve 2 years, but it was a bunch of Black men surrounding him that whole time while he's running around the streets of Chicago calling everyone an N-word. Y'all niggas ain't gonna do nothing to me. Surrounded by what looks like half of a defensive line of some, ridiculous college or something. These Black men are his security while this little funny looking, multicolored hair Mexican is running around calling everyone the N-word. But this is who they were propping up. So if y'all want to prop him up, y'all hold that L while y'all sit in prison for life. And I don't have any sympathy for you. Call him a snitch? Yeah, he is. But y'all are stupid. So hold that L,
You followed the snitch. Like, the snitch was paying you.
I have no sympathy. And I just, see it happen way too often. But I'm so off topic, and so I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. Australia says way too accepting and forgiving. Us, yes, we are. George says, yes, Black folks are way too accepting, way too forgiving, and way too easy to forgive.
It is.
Way too easy to forgive. Or, sorry, Indigo.
I understood what she was saying. Yeah, you right, Indigo. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody can get it on this channel. I can get it. Look, I've had to come on here and correct myself. Sometimes I get things wrong, and so when I do come onto my YouTube platform and I get something wrong, I will come to YouTube and I will correct myself. I'm not gonna say something wrong and stupid here and then go on, Twitter where I have 3 followers. Oh, yo, by the way. I didn't mean to say, like, okay, no, you got to correct your mistake where you made it. And that's what it is. But yeah, anyone can get over here. And these Negroes, they just, it's like we have this love for whiteness that we will never have for ourselves. And so, yeah, like, hey, hip hop, I know we created that in the late 70s, early 80s, but hey, white people come over here and just take over it, just here you go. Like we'll never have anything. Look at the way that white people protect country music. They won't even let a Black person call us on country. Charlie Pride, I don't know what magical Negro powers he has to have broken that barrier, but Black people can go in there singing a song country as hell. that ain't country. That R&B, there you go. Rap, they won't call it country. They protect what is theirs. And, you know, there's something that I just respect about that. Even though, you know, I do think that music is just music and anyone can create any type of music. Anyone can enjoy any type of music. But there's a respect to be given for people protecting what is theirs that we don't have.
We don't.
And so, yeah.
The fact that Macklemore has been able to come in and get all sorts of awards and recognition, and Mac Miller, I'm not saying that they're not cool, but, you know, I don't know. They didn't let, what's his face, the Black Cowboy with Billy Ray Cyrus. They wouldn't let him country music. And, yeah, like you said, I respect that.
Yeah, I have to respect it. Nakaya, if you don't want to come on camera, that's fine. Just show me that it's you, and then I'll bring you up. I just want to see that I'm dealing with who I'm dealing with, because too often, well, not too often, but we've had instances of people trying to show X-rated material when they pop onto the live stream. Okay, I got you. You can turn it off if you want to, and I'll go on and bring you up, and you can leave it on if you want to. Okay, I got you. So let me bring up Nakaya. We have Nakaya with us. Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, everybody. I'm looking a hot mess, so.
That's all good. So am I. Join the family.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to say, Brooke, this is a very, very interesting conversation. So we thank you. And Ty, we thank you for bringing her on. But what I wanted to say, everything you ladies have said so far is like on point. I don't want to get too deep into the colorism issue because that's not really the topic. But what do you say for someone like me that's very light-skinned? But both of my parents and their parents are Black. I'm not biracial. I get it from both sides. I get it from light skin, dark skin, brown skin, white people. Like, I get it from every angle. And I don't have a colorism issue other than the fact that, no offense to anyone that's light skinned, but the fact that I really wish I was darker. So what do you say to someone like myself?
Brooke, you want to take it away? I have thoughts, but
I would say that in my experience, and this is coming from, I've been called an Oreo my entire life. What I did is I kind of like 8 Mile. Like, if you can take the joke from them, you can beat them to the punch. And, you know, like, if you know that that's what their rhyme is going to be, you see it coming on their faces, just be like, that's what us light people do, you know. That's why you're not light skinned. And if you make the joke before they have an opportunity to go there, it automatically makes them less defensive and already be like, oh, well, she's made fun of herself, so I mean, you know, it takes the fun out of it, kind of. That's what I would say, coming from a lifelong Oreo and a self-proclaimed, recently trademarked the term white whisperer. That's
wow.
I'm just laughing. Yeah, I know Brooke in a different way, so that's just making me laugh. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta look at that video, Wings, when I can get some audio. I don't want to do it right now because I don't know if there's music or something. Or let me know. And let me know if it's something that, if it doesn't have any copyrighted music, if it's something you want me to share with the stream, let me know, and I'll put it up here, as long as it's not gonna, you know, mess us up. I think that I can kiss monetization for this stream goodbye at this point, but so I just don't want to get a copyright claim. That's the best that I can hope for right now. Okay, so no, it's all my fault. I do get carried away sometimes. Okay, so Nakaya, when you say you get it from both ends, will you explain to me what you mean? Because I think that I know, but I don't want to assume that I know what you're going through. So I want to hear you say it, and I think I have some advice, but I'm actually glad that you brought this up, because look, we're talking about bias. We've gone up on several tangents, so I don't mind if Brooke doesn't mind. She's my guest. If you don't mind, I don't mind spending a little time on this. And I would actually, this is a conversation that I would love to have on a live stream with Black women, especially of different tones. Brooke and I are in the safe brown family that they like to call it. Nakaya, you're very light skinned. We have darker skinned women, and it affects all of us in different ways. And I think that it's a conversation that Black women need to have with each other, and we have to be the ones who decide how we're going to deal with it, because Black men are so implicit in perpetuating it amongst us that we need to figure out how it is that we're going to deal with ourselves. We kind of need to leave them out of the equation if it's going to get any better. And as adults, all dark-skinned children I know go through the whole being called horrible names, and it's terrible for all dark-skinned children. But we live in a Black male worshiping society. As far as the Black collective is concerned, white people aren't worshiping. No one else is worshiping Black men, but Black women. But the thing is that worship is not reciprocated from Black men to Black women. And so my thing is that as women, we have to figure out what our code is going to be and how we're going to deal with it. Because at this point, now maybe there's some other rehab center that deals with Negroes and how they deal with Black women and colorism. I've given up on them, though, as far as them not being colorist anymore. But I do have hope for Black women that we could have, a meaningful conversation, because I'm glad you brought it up, Nakaya, because this is something I've been wanting to have a conversation about, but nobody really feels comfortable going there. And it's not a comfortable thing to talk about. And I like to talk about things that are uncomfortable, because that's when we really start to get an understanding, right? So what is it that you have gone through? And I can only tell you, my opinions. I don't have any, God knows, I have no degree in how to deal with people. I don't know how to deal with people. I just speak my mind. So what do you have to say?
I guess when not so much, what do you say to a person like me? It's more than, I'm trying to find the right words. It's more or less,
I'm wanting to know what you deal with.
I'm more or less just tired of the colorism word. First of all, that's first of all. Second of all, as far as what Brooke said, as far as beat them to the punch, I'm not a beat them to the punch type of person. I'm more of a, can you please just get out my face? You know what I mean?
That works too.
And it's like, because I haven't done anything to you. I'm not nowhere near conceited, but I was brought up with confidence. And I think other shades have a problem with that, even the same shade.
Okay, so tell me like something that you get from light-skinned women, your complexion, and something that you get from women who are darker than you. To give me like a specific thing, because you're telling me what you're perceiving from them, but tell me what they do that get I'm sure that you're not saying it out of nowhere, so I want to know what it is you experience, and then I can tell you my opinion.
Just more or less the nose turn up. It's more the nose turn up
from light skinned women and dark skinned women is the same thing, just turning up their noses at you?
Yeah. I don't know where it comes from. I do have a mouth, but I only have a mouth if you come at me in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't know. That's the whole point. I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I do walk with confidence. I'm not a gossip type of person. So you're not going to be able to just tell me something and I'm like, girl, did you hear such and such said that? I'm not that person. My thing is, if you want them to know, you would tell them. So it's just more or less the nose turn up, actually. You know what I mean? And
so it's not anything that anyone is saying, but like, are you talking strangers, people you know, just they see you and they turn up their nose? Like, I have a feeling that like they're like, you can call out some specific thing that someone did or someone said, and it let you know that their issue with you is your skin tone. It's not, you know, something you did to them. It's not some, you know.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's the skin tone thing, but that colorism word keeps coming up. And that's what another person would tell me that's what it is. I don't really know if that's what it is. That's the whole point. But it's not so much what I've done. It's the way I carry myself is what I feel. Because once a person gets to know me, they have a total different attitude towards me. But it's the fact of getting to know me is the challenge for them. Because I don't wake up every morning saying who likes me today. You know what I mean? And I think people
as a YouTuber, I do. I actually do. I literally get up and I check my analytics to see who likes me. But okay, different struggle.
Well, in that instance, you know,
I'm feeling you. I'm there. I know what you're saying.
So it's and I don't want to come across like cocky. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's a cockiness to others. Because I do have a thick skin, but I'm at the same time I'm a very sensitive person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's me.
So I can't really, but I'm not really able off the top of my head think of one isolated incident. I just know when I go out, or when I used to go out, the atmosphere around me change. And unless it's people that grew up with me, or you know what I mean, took the time to get to know who I am, because I'm not a very open person. Or I didn't used to be. I'm a little more now because I done got older, but I pick and choose. I pick and choose who I'm open with. So
that's a wise thing for us all to do as adults. Okay, so this is something I want to offer to you, because I think that sometimes there is a perception. Now I'm not saying that what you're feeling is wrong. Some of it could be colorism, but if like no one has said something like, "Oh, that old light skinned heifer thinks she's all that," or you know, like if you haven't heard that, or someone hasn't told you this. Okay, so that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. So like, what kind of specific things are you hearing from women who are darker than you, and from women who are your skin tone, lighter women? I want to know that, because.
No, I'm not called Oreo, but it is the light skinned girl. You know, it's that light skinned girl, or that's that light shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, it's just things of that nature. And I guess you just made me think when you said that with the light skin, it's more or less the nose turn up. Maybe because they think they in competition because we are the same color. You just made me, a light bulb just went up when you said that. So yes, it's pretty much that. Oh, that light skinned girl, and because I mean, I'm in a small town. you know,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I came from one small town to a smaller. Well, I came from a small city to a small town.
Okay.
And the way they're not used to my style, whether it's the hair, the makeup, the dressing, the way I just carry myself, period. You know what I mean? They're not used to it here.
Do
And
they
then I
say
just
things
mind
like,
my
"Oh,
own
you act
business.
white"?
Oh no, not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Okay.
Not at
Okay.
all. Because that's
Okay.
what somebody told me. Somebody told me that I had I have a colorism issue among myself. Only be I'm the lightest one in my family. I get my color from my dad's side. So I'm the lightest one on my dad's side. I mean on my mom's side. So when I say I just wish I was darker, I just wish I was darker. I don't think nothing wrong with me saying I wish I was more of at least a chocolate or a caramel than a vanilla. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nothing's wrong with that.
Okay.
You know.
So when you experience the things that you're saying, women who are dark, like let's say my complexion or darker, or darker than you, are they saying things to your face? Are there things that you're hearing as you walk by? How has it, just give me one instance where you've heard someone darker than you say something about, oh, this light skin, whatever. Give me something that happened. Give me one specific.
If they're saying it in my face, they're laughing with it, but I'm a good judge of character. I know that's a front. People that
So are these
I've
friends?
thought,
Are these family members? Who are these? These are people you know if they're saying it to your face. So
I might have gotten it a couple times from James' family. I don't think I get it from my own family. Because I think that's why I have the confidence that I have, because they somewhat put me on a pedestal on my mom's side. Somewhat. Not to the point where they don't hold me accountable, but to, it's just, it is what it is. But
okay,
go ahead.
This is something I want to offer to you, because I and take it, or not, or if you feel a way about it, just tell me. But it's a couple of things I want to mention. So a lot of the times, with privilege, people who have the privilege don't realize that they have the privilege. And so even though a light-skinned woman might not be colors herself and might be able to see the beauty in her sisters who are darker than she is, I think a chocolate woman is beautiful. I think a caramel woman is beautiful. And she might not have any kinds of issues, with being colorist. One thing that happens is even though, and because she doesn't feel, any kind of colorism towards darker women, she might also forget that she sits in a place of privilege because of her skin tone. Now, whether you decide to use that privilege or not, that's a different thing. But a lot of the times, lighter skinned women don't realize that they do have a privilege.
Okay,
and so
can you hold that thought right there? Don't forget what you're about to say. That brings up a good point. I don't get any privileges that's thrown in my face. Hold on. In where I'm at. First of all, when they look at my name, oh, I'm darker than the darkest. I mean, let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? In person, where I'm at, I can only speak where I'm at. Oh, my kinky hair is making my face dark.
Yeah, now there are levels even to colorism. So colorism in and of itself is a hierarchy, but they are hierarchies within the hierarchy. That's when things like featureism and texturism come into play. Okay, well, she's light, but she ain't got good hair. Or she's light, but she don't have green eyes. Or she's light, but she got a flat nose. She's light, but she got big lips. So that that knocks you down to my complexion.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I get it. So I'm with you. So, but here's the thing. So just like you're saying, that you don't get any privileges where you are. So the funny thing is, now this is what I want to tell you, and I'm not, look, you know, you and I, we've been connecting, right?
Oh yeah, you know.
And so I don't think that you have any kind of issues with darker women. I don't believe that at all. But what I want to say is, the funny thing is that every single time I mean without fail, and y'all, some of you all who've been watching me for a while, you've seen it. Every single time without fail that I talk to a light woman and I tell them that they have privilege, they always say, no, I don't. I don't get any, not here, not where I live. And the thing is, I have viewers from all over the country, and like literally there was an instance where I had a live stream about Real Housewives of Potomac. And we were talking, because clearly some of those women do have colorism issues. So we have these 2 light-skinned women who run around proudly calling themselves the Green Eye Bandits. And you know, they're both very, very light with green eyes. And then we have Ashley, who's biracial. And then we have Karen, who's a light-skinned woman. And Karen is my favorite woman on the cast. I don't believe that Karen has a colorism problem. She has a dark-skinned husband. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but she has a dark-skinned daughter. And I think that her having that daughter makes her realize the privilege that she has, and it makes her look at dark-skinned women differently. Okay, so, but here's the thing though. When I was having a conversation about this on my channel, I had women saying, well, you know, 2 lighter-skinned women saying, well, no, I'm in Detroit. We don't have colorism issues here. And then I had another one who was in Washington, D.C. No, we don't. No, I mean, like, I know that colorism exists, but, and she was even able to point it out on the show, but she's like, no, I'm not here. I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm like, okay, Potomac. We're talking about Real Housewives of Potomac. That is a suburb of DC. So you're telling me you don't see it where you live, but literally if you drive 20 minutes outside of your community, then you can realize where it's happening with this cast? That's interesting. So here's the thing. And I don't know if this will make sense to you or not, but this is what I always, if I can even get to the next step. So you haven't cut me out yet, and you haven't, unsubscribed. So we're getting somewhere. This is already good.
We're good.
So the next step that I would always like to go, but then I lose them. So the next step that I would always like to take it is to compare it to racism, because white people, when I talk to them, and I look, I'm that girl who likes to have uncomfortable conversations. So this is, why I'm probably not suitable for anyone's job. So when I'm having conversations at work with my white coworkers about racism and their places of privilege, and this is what they don't see it. What do you mean? I go to work just like everybody else. I work just like you do. There's a black guy who lives 5 houses down from me, and I get up at the same time and I go to work just like he does. What do you mean? And a lot of them think that just because they're not wealthy and living in a mansion, that there's no privilege that comes along with being white. And so a lot of the times, I think lighter skinned black people, because of racism, which overrides everything, they kind of just feel like, okay, look, I'm just black like everybody else. I don't get any kind of special treatment, just because I'm lighter. I'm just, an N-word like everybody else, to these white people. But the fact is that there's literally empirical evidence that says differently. So, and this is what you may not see. So I've had a friend of mine, a light-skinned woman, who tell me, look, I'm the only black person at my job and they treat me like shit. So I know that I'm not getting any kind of special privileges because you ought to see how they treat me. Well, I would have to say to her, have you ever considered that maybe you are the only black person there because of your proximity to whiteness? Maybe, just maybe, that there's another darker skinned woman who is as capable or maybe more capable of you who was passed up for that job because she's just too black to be in this office. Now we got to fill a quota. We got to have one of them. I'd rather have one that looks a little bit more like me than looks a little, more like Aunt Jemima. I want to, I want to look at something that's more like myself. And so there is proof that lighter skinned black people get hired at a higher rate than darker skinned black people for jobs. There's proof that lighter skinned black people get lighter prison sentences than darker Black people for the exact same crimes. There's a lot of proof. There's proof that lighter skinned women get married at a higher rate than darker skinned women if marriage is something that you see as, you know, beneficial and a privilege. And I would imagine that where you are in your life, because you are planning a wedding, you think that that's a good thing, right? So there is proof, there is evidence out there that shows that there are advantages. But a lot of times, because racism seems to be overriding everything, you know, lighter skinned Black people are just like, I'm Black and I have it hard just like everybody else. And then, so that's just on the racism level. But then we can look at it within the, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, first, I definitely know it exists. Whether it's here. I'm not saying it's not here. But the jobs that I've had since I've been here, I'm in that same bunch. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I pay attention to details and I pay attention to people every inch. I analyze everything. Trust me, I know. What I'm saying is, for me, my own personal, and it could be that I don't see it because a lot of things I do block out when it just don't make sense. If it ain't gonna, you know, put $1 in my pocket, a lot of times I do. But
I don't blame you.
At the same time, like I told you guys before, where I'm at, the KKK did not start in the South. They started 20 minutes where I'm at. 20 minutes from where I'm at. It's a different world where I'm at. It's a different world. Not saying it's any better or any worse, but and I do agree with you. The lighter, the more privilege.
That's one side. That's one side. So I'm not going to say, because this is a big nasty onion that has a lot of layers, right? So so that's on that end. So first, I do want lighter skinned women to realize that you do have a privilege, and because of that, that sometimes does make some darker skinned women automatically want to have an attitude with you, and it's not right.
Maybe that's what the question is. Where is
that could be.
Maybe that's the question. So where is the privilege?
Okay, so if what I said doesn't show that there is some privilege, then so here's
I'm standing for myself. Ty, I'm standing for me.
Okay, well, you're getting married. Do you? You're getting married. I said, okay, you're getting. Can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting married. That's a benefit that a lot of darker skinned women just don't have. And I don't know. Is your husband Black?
Yeah, he's Black. He's very Black.
Right. And that's actually something that a lot of very Black women can never attract. It seems to be a very Black man.
I'm his second wife. His first wife is just as dark as he.
And that's usually what happens. Usually they seem to trade up for the lighter one. Usually the darker one is the starter wife, and then they trade up as they get on.
That's a gray area.
I'm not, and it doesn't make you a bad person. No. What I'm saying is,
you have to know.
It doesn't make you a bad person, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of dark-skinned women who would love to have a dark-skinned man, but can't attract a dark-skinned man to save their lives. And so that, in and of itself, the fact that you have a dark-skinned man who, when we get older, like I said, as children, all dark-skinned kids go through colorism, but as adults, Black men get to be seen as this masculine standard of, manhood, and, they're dark, they're big, they're black, they're strong, they got muscles, and there's just this there's this perception that this is what manhood is. And so because of that, a lot of Black women desire darker Black men. And here's another, and because of that as well, dark skin is seen as masculine. And so there's an advantage that you have by being light skinned. And even I have an advantage in that. And Brooke, we have an advantage. We're not light skinned like you, but we're not so dark that people look at our skin tone as a masculine thing. That is a privilege that we have over any woman who's darker. She has to overcome this perception that because her skin is darker, that she must be masculine. And she could be the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth. But a lot of people are going to look at her as being masculine because she has darker skin. There's a lot of things.
Maybe I'm just ignorant to the word colorism and privilege. Let me go with that, because you would actually have to know our story. Like he didn't trade me in, and I'm not saying you saying he did. That was 20 years ago when he was married to her. Me and him been in different relationships, different shades. It wasn't until my dad was murdered that we decided, let's stop playing and get married. So our situation is a little different. But I'm not saying that I don't understand your point, because I do. I do. I don't want you to think I'm being defensive or anything like that, because I truly understand it.
I don't want you to think that you're using your marriage as some kind of power play over darker women either. What I'm saying is that a lot of what you might be looking at is women feeling a kind of way because you have something that they wish they had. And so if you are picking up on some kind of attitude or something coming from someone, it could be that they're looking like, well, damn, this like all she had to do was just be light skinned, must be nice. No, but
in my eyes,
matter if
that's
not the truth. It doesn't matter if that's not the truth. What I'm telling you, you ask. It is. All of it is. And I can say that even the way you feel, that's a personal problem, right?
Yeah,
but it's something that we all are dealing with. And it's something that if we don't have a discussion, we're never going to get past it. Like, because we're just going to be feeling ways, looking at someone based on their skin tone and feeling a way. And I'm not saying that someone would be right to look at you and think, well, oh, she must think she better. Now, it doesn't mean that you think you're better than they are, but do you have a privilege? Yes. On the strength of your skin being lighter, you will all have a privilege. Anyone who's, a light-skinned Black person, you have a privilege that a darker skinned Black person doesn't have, just on the strength of being lighter. I'm not a light-skinned person, but I have an advantage over women who are darker than I am. It's just the truth. It's just the truth, Do I get to experience, wonderful things happening to me every day because of it? No, not necessarily. But is there some darker woman who wishes that she could trade places and just have, a lighter skin tone and not be perceived as masculine? Man, I wish I had tight skin tone. I would do some things with that. Is there a darker skinned woman who's probably been passed over for a job that I got because they might feel a little bit more comfortable with me and, the Oreo in the office rather than, this, Black girl who went to a Black, university and she sounds too Black? Yeah, that happens. That's a thing, And so what I'm saying is that when you do have a privilege, you have to recognize that you have that privilege, and then we have to move accordingly. So our thing needs to be, okay, just because I have a privilege doesn't mean that I rub it in someone's face. And I'm not saying that you do that. And so on the flip side of that, just because, someone has this privilege doesn't mean that I need to enter into, a relationship with them, thinking that, oh, she must think she's all that. Some people do, but some people don't. So everything comes down to individuality, but we got to be able to look past our skin shades to be able to see it and even get that far. And no one really wants to have the conversation. And
that's so the point right there.
that is the point. That is the point. But if we can't get past the first, then how do we get there? We don't. We don't.
Yeah, but when
we all have to realize.
When I said that was own personal feeling. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
go to the next light-skinned person and say, girl, I don't see it, so you shouldn't see it. You know what I mean? And it's not saying that I
Yeah.
don't see it, because I do see it. I'm just sick of the
Right.
word. I'm sick of Black folks, especially Black women, going against each other so much. We are so many different shades.
Yep.
That
Mm-hmm.
I had she wasn't a friend, but an associate that she got it so bad for being light skinned. She committed suicide because
Ooh.
she wished she was darker, because the light skin, well, she didn't really know what she wanted. The light skin, she pretty much the same situation. Light skin treated her a certain way, dark skin treated her a certain way, and she ended up committing suicide. That's the point I'm making. Like, you have to watch what you do and say in this word privilege and this word colorism. That can affect people. And it's like, just be
It does affect
you.
people.
Just be you, and let me deal with you accordingly to who you are, and not because of what your skin tone is. Because I didn't ask to be this color. I did not
Right. And,
ask
and
to
none,
be this
none of
color.
us did ask to be the color we are, right? But we are the colors we are, and there are systems that are in place where we live, and we have to learn how to operate within those systems to be the kind of people we want to be. And so, yeah, and it might mean taking an extra step, with somebody who was turning up their nose at you, in the beginning, I mean, sometimes you just let it
Yeah, I
go
don't
if
care
it's not
about
that
that.
important. But
Yeah.
um, it's a lot. Like
Yeah, it's
again,
a lot.
like I
It's
said
a lot.
earlier, it's a lot to being Black.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it is. It is. And especially when you getting it from every angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Hmm.
ridiculous. It's really ridiculous to me. And
And
it's
a
like,
lot of
oh,
people
see,
will
the
feel like
thing
they're
is though,
getting it.
Ty, the thing
Hmm.
is, and it's no offense to any other shade, no other
Hmm.
shade of Black. But when I see a dark skinned woman, I think
Hmm.
that is the most beautiful skin tone. Not saying
Hmm.
that your skin tone is not beautiful or Brooke's skin
Hmm.
tone is not beautiful, but it's a woman in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that is so chocolate. I
Hmm.
mean, so chocolate, but she is beautiful, to the point where I had to walk up to her and say, "Baby, your skin is beautiful." Why can't
Hmm.
we just be like that towards each other? Why it has to be like, well, you have to admit you got a privilege. Hey, you got to deal with your privilege. I don't like, why we can't just be like, you just you a beautiful Black woman, period. Or you a beautiful woman. Just, we can, I mean,
That
well,
would
I don't
be
really want to
nice,
take out, I
but
really don't want to take out the Black part. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, no, look, that would be great, but there are things there's so many other things outside of just being beautiful, because like you said, you find dark-skinned women very beautiful, and I do too. But where are all the Black men making all the songs, where are all the rap
oh, I know,
songs
I think that's
talking about,
stupid. Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
me a badass dark skin looking like Florida Evans in my, no,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
the
I hate
rap
that.
songs are about,
Yeah, I hate that.
I need a light skinned baddie, I need a yellow bone, where's that? Right?
Yeah,
And so that's
yeah,
going to make a woman feel a certain way, and it's not that it should come
yeah.
down on you, but again, that's part of your privilege,
No,
right? And
okay.
so
Now you just gave me a better understanding of when you using the word privilege. That statement you
mhm.
just made gave me a better understanding, because you right. And I don't like when they do that. I really don't.
Mhm.
But me being light
You don't
skinned, people
strike me
just
as someone
automatically
who would.
assume. Yeah, people just
Mhm.
automatically assume, yeah, they talking about me. You know, all that
Mhm. Right,
gyrate.
right,
What
right.
the old
Like,
people
that's
say,
my jam. I
gyrating.
turn that part up
Right.
louder when he
Yeah,
says that,
yeah,
Yeah.
And I don't.
I get it.
You know.
I get it. But what I don't want any light-skinned woman to feel is that just because there is a privilege, that I think that you're moving around and like, hooraying in that privilege and, rubbing it in the face of darker women. No, but what I'm saying is do acknowledge that it exists. And from there, you can better understand darker women and why they might be coming at you all crossways. They're feeling a way that they've probably been feeling since they were born. Because nobody, like, oh, wow, she's so cute. Usually you go to a family reunion, three sisters. The lighter one is the one that everyone thinks is so cute. No one, oh, girl, look at your all chocolatey skin. No one does it. Oh, girl, look at you with your Clelio hair, girl. Yes. People don't do that. They don't celebrate what is closer to, typical phenotypical blackness. That's not celebrated. Oh, girl, come on here with your little old flat nose and them big old lips. No one says that at anybody's black family reunion ever. Oh,
you ain't so, came like to mine.
You said, well, that's definitely an exception. But like you said, with your hair texture and your features, So you're not the light-skinned woman with the Eurocentric features and the wavy hair. So even that, that puts you at the bottom of the light skin totem pole. Let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
And so like it's almost like a woman my shade, as long as she had the wavy hair and the pointy nose. Now I'm light skinned, right? We're the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's levels to this shit. That's what happens in a hierarchy. It is levels. And so, but we all got to acknowledge where we are. We have a place in it. And if we recognize and acknowledge our place in it, it's only from that point of reality that we can move on and deal with each other the way that we need to in reality.
I totally agree. I mean, to be honest with you, you opened up my what's the words I want to use? My mindset. You opened it up and gave me a better understanding, because I kept saying, what is wrong with people? You know what I'm saying? Just period. Just what is wrong? But okay, I can get understanding, but I don't have to keep putting up with it. That's the thing.
No,
but
look,
I'm
never gonna tell anybody take anybody's BS.
Yeah, I will give a more understanding, but I'm not gonna just keep dealing with everything. Go ahead, Brooke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No. I was just gonna ask you to we talked about Willie Lynch's letter. So if you'll Google in YouTube Willie Lynch, and it's Willie, Lynch is Lynch. I mean, like Lynch. There are several different videos where people, black and white people, are publicly talking about Willie Lynch's letter and his incredible, very simplistic yet effective attempts at mind control. He specifically built the recipe to keep the darker outside Negroes versus the house Negroes combating.
At odds.
Oh, I know. I've read the letter.
And so, remember that when the people are hating on you just for having resting bitch face, excuse my language. Oh, there goes your monetization. I'm sorry.
We said worse on here today. So I think it was
okay. But you have the only thing I can recommend you to do to let it stop bothering you is to forgive those people, because they literally know not what they are doing.
Yeah, I've forgiven or even got over it. That part of it, it's the word colorism steady coming up, and it's like, that's why I'm glad Ty said she would love to have a conversation, because that's where it starts. it starts with a conversation, so every tone can understand the next tone. And you know, because I'm the life of the party. Well, I was. I didn't got in my 40s. And now I'm like, can I just go over here and sip on my wine? Y'all leave me alone until I get
You're good.
a couple glasses, and then I might, you know.
Do some chair dancing. Hey.
So
You're
it's
better
like,
than I am, because I'm looking for an excuse to not go to the party. Like, oh, you know, my dog is sick, y'all. I'm sorry, I know I said I was coming.
but don't be using that excuse in July.
All right. Her
But
wedding.
yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and get off and get back in the chat and let somebody else, because I'm like, they probably like, if she don't go.
We don't have no. I think that we're enjoying the conversation. I see a lot of comments coming up, and this is what affects us, you know. And I think it's mostly Black women here right now. My content is for y'all. Look, anybody who wants to watch, you're welcome. But you know, my content, especially my live streams, are kind of dedicated to Black women. And so, if this is where the conversation took us, then this is where we are. As long as Brooke doesn't have a problem, because she's my guest, and so I don't want to overshadow the Bias Rehab Center.
Right.
But I just feel like it's important, you know. And we have someone willing to talk and, you know, willing to be open. Then I think that now is the time. Like, you know.
Yeah, because I really commend Brooke for doing this, because the job I was at, I worked at Chrysler, and like I said, it's maybe about 5 years ago they stopped calling us colored here. And this white lady, oh yeah, honey. This white lady that I got, you know, pretty cool with, she was like, we had a Black supervisor when I first started there, but he went on somewhere else. I'll make this short and sweet. So he went on somewhere else, but he was a really good supervisor. And she was like, yeah, I can't remember his name now, but let's just say his name was Tim or something. So I miss Tim, you know, because he didn't have a quote unquote Black name anyway. So she was like, I missed him. He was a good supervisor, and he was Black. And I said, excuse me? I said, what you mean? I said, all Black folks ain't bad, just like all white folks ain't bad. But, you know, I hesitated because I didn't know if I really wanted to finish that. So she was like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, how other way did you mean that? Because what was the purpose of putting in the Black part? So I just wanted to get off colorism and go back to what we was originally talking about.
Well,
see, if you was around,
we're just talking about bias. So
well, true. But if Brooke was around, I would have called her and said, "You need to call Chrysler."
Yes,
because they ain't right up in here.
Leave it a count too.
Yeah. Okay, ladies, I'm going back in the chat.
Thank you. I appreciate the conversation. And look,
thank you,
ladies. If there's anybody, if y'all want to come back on here and have a real discussion about colorism, I am so open to do that. And I would want, you know, at least one person representing, you know, our multiple, you know, skin tones. So I would want a light-skinned person. I would want a dark-skinned person. I would want a safe brown, a brown, medium brown, whatever person. At least one of each. But if we can have multiple, and you know, as long as we can keep the you know, the feedback at a minimum and everything, I would love to have a real conversation. So if that is something that you all want to do, email me please at Tiwan@TiSaidWhatTiSaid.com. Let's put that panel together. I think that it's much needed. I think that we need to have a series of panels, and we need to like have a for real discussion. I want to say hi to Vanette because I saw that you came in. How are you doing, Vanette? Thank you for coming in and joining us. But yeah, that conversation is long overdue, especially on this channel, because some of you may have heard before. You know, that's something that I've been wanting to do But it's a lot to get into it. And, you know, some people might not feel comfortable, you know, talking about it, you know?
It's a lot.
It is a lot. So with the Bias Rehab Center, do you get the colorism calls, and have you ever had that as an issue in a workplace?
Not yet. I don't know. Well, so no, not yet is what I'll say, and I'll say in short. I feel like her very last example where he was like, "Oh, where he's a good manager, but he's black." I feel like that is a little bit of has some colorism. You know, but basically no. People right now are going through a weird period. Sometimes I'll say that diversity and inclusion are like the plumbing structures of your house. You don't wait to put in the plumbing and the pipes after you've already put in the drywall and floated it. So right now, America's going through a process where they realize they didn't put any piping in, and so they're ripping out the drywall, putting it in.
Right.
So right now, all racism to them. You know?
Yeah. It's almost like they're not even ripping out the drywall. They're just putting in the plumbing on top of the drywall. You know, you can see the pipes in the living room. You know, that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Watch your step.
It's a mess. Let's see. We have some interesting comments in here. The colorism conversation runs deep in our culture, but isn't really talked about. Effects from slavery, maybe so. Australia, maybe so.
Actually, so not so much just from slavery, but it is definitely an effect of the British colonialism. Because even in Asia, like in India, they have colorisms there, even though they're all brown. Of course, the lighter browns get the better, thing. They have that whole system of caste, right? People that are casted out because they're too dark. And they have the skin bleaching creams and stuff for lighten up their complexion. And even in Asia, more specifically, like I think Vietnamese, maybe some Thai, tend to be on the darker side. Versus where Chinese people from China are lighter. And so even then, they're like, to you and I, they look very similar in color.
Yeah, but I can tell the difference.
Right.
Yeah, sure can.
In Australia, actually, the literal place Australia, they have issues with the Aborigines.
Yeah. And that's, my best friend keeps trying to get me to go to Australia for vacation, and I have no desire whatsoever. That's one place I don't. Like, did you see how they did Serena, just 2 years ago? Like, girl, I tried to tell her, I need you to get on Google. I'm not gonna damn Australia. Anyway, hi, Thick Girl. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Thank you for coming and joining. Look, Brooke, you're welcome to come back here anytime you want. Oh, and hi, Loretta Banks. I'm sorry I didn't see your name. How are you doing? Thank you for coming and joining in. Wings in My Boat Sauce. I'll take a look at that video. We might need to get into it later this week. I will take a look at it. I know you said there was a song on there, so I will check it out, and we might have to explore that. I do want to come back later this week and explore Block, Candy's baby daddy, being a fucking deadbeat and walking around basically trying to make it seem like Candy broke up his happy household, and that's why he stopped paying child support when a child turned 14. I want to have that discussion. Some Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff, but I want to get into that. He went on an interview and just like really took zero accountability for, having a baby with a side chick. Like, unless she raped you, then stop it. Like, oh, y'all, I want to talk about that because, child, the dust that was flying off of my computer screen while I was looking at that almost had me dead. So I want to get into him and his dusty rhetoric on that interview. I'd love to have that conversation. I'm just not with people not, taking responsibility for what the fuck they do. So, totally not about bias rehab, but sorry, but I do want to come back and do that. But please, if y'all want to have the colorism conversation, please email me. And when we get that going, Brooke, if you would like to come back here and have that conversation, and anytime you want to come back here and have a conversation with us, I'm here for it. Does anyone else, if you all would like to ask Brooke any questions, come on up to the chat. I feel like we're about to close, but if someone else wants to come up and talk about bias on any level, like I said, I know that that Nakaya wanted to hurry up and get back on subject, so to speak, from colorism, but that's on the subject. If we're talking about bias, and that is something that definitely needs some rehab. But I think that's work for us to do together as women. And I realized, hi, Eric. Eric, I don't know if you're still in here. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overlook you. Eric is in here. But I know that it's mostly women right now. And when I say that we're the ones who need to do the work, that's what I'm referring to. I think that we need to do the work with each other. But there are some hard truths that we're all going to have to face first in order to be able to do that. And it's never comfortable to hear about your own privilege. It's never comfortable to hear about, the work that you need to do. Accountability sucks. Nobody wants to, admit that they did something and they need to, fix it. Nobody
likes being told that they're wrong.
No one likes it. But can you take it and, can you deal with, constructive criticism? And there's also a way to tell someone they are wrong as well. But, I probably don't, I know that I don't, probably my ass. I know that I don't say it the right way, most of the time when I talk about things on here. But I'm willing to have an intelligent conversation. If y'all want to make it like that, fine. I'm willing to do that. If y'all want to have, a real discussion, I think it's long overdue for us, for us as Black women. Brooke, is there anything else that you want to bring up? I don't believe that I have any other questions for you. So anything else that we need to know about the Bias Rehab Center? Obviously, I so appreciate you, Lady B and Alethea. They have been running throughout the stream. They've been running the website for the Bias Rehab Center. If you all want to go there and learn some more things, if you need to use their services for your company, maybe you are experiencing microaggressions or macroaggressions in the workplace and you need their help. That is what Brooke is here for. Spread the word about her. Share, this website. Share this stream with people. Share the videos on her YouTube channel, which has also been shared as well by the moderators. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, for doing that. And like I said, if you're watching this and you're not watching in real time, and even those of you who are here with us now, after this is over, I will get Brooke's social media accounts and I'll put them in the description box for this video if you want to come back and follow the Bias Rehab Center and see, what they're doing. So like, are we going to see pictures of white people holding up certificates to say, I'm racism free? I love niggers now. The Negroes. Colored Black people. Hey, Black people rock. Is that what we're going to see when we go there? What's going to happen?
No, you're definitely not going to see that. We specifically do not allow that. No, but hopefully, we will start to see a trend where we will make it fashionable for white people to own up and hold themselves accountable. So eventually, hopefully, we can train enough white people that someone
or should you be saying racist people? Because again,
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You got me. Okay. So we'll train. Well, no, privilege. Let's say that we will. Yeah, we're gonna train the privileged people, privileged individuals who feel superior. Okay, we're gonna train those people how to respond and correct the Karen when she says things like, "Oh, you're not one of those kind of black people." Because really, you don't have to correct that. We need to be teaching them how to set their own people correct. So hopefully that could happen. And in the meantime, yes, send them videos. When they're asking you things, it puts you in danger if you try to answer the questions for them. It puts you in a weird predicament. So I encourage you to tell them, no, you know what? I don't feel comfortable answering these questions because it's going to make a hostile environment for me and I'm going to feel uncomfortable. Make sure to use words like uncomfortable. Those are HR keywords. Uncomfortable. Tell them that, asking me black questions or questions about black stuff, it singles me out and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Those are keywords to tell your HR department. So yeah, stop answering their questions. Tell them I'm not going to answer it because I feel like it'll make my work environment negative. Cast a shadow, right? If you want to be like fancy, cast a shadow on my workplace environment. And send them clips of the Bias Rehab. We are going to have all sorts of various clips and things coming up. And then also, if you have a specific situation you would like us to make a video for, we can do that. So yeah, that we want to take that pressure, that responsibility off of you. And we have a team of professionals who are ready and willing to step in and help those people see how aggressive a passive aggressive work environment is.
Hey, I like that. Now, may I ask, because I think that there is one question that if they ask that you should answer.
Okay.
Can I touch your hair? No, I think you do answer that one on the spot. You do not contact the Bias Rehab Center. Bitch, get your hands out of my hair, my wig, my braids, whatever. Are you fucking crazy? That I do think you answer that one on the spot. We don't have time to contact the Bias Rehab Center when they're trying to put their hands all up in your head. The fuck?
And there's actually a video where we have a black girl asking a white girl. It's like, how would white people react if black people said those things to them? And it's literally a video of a black girl being like, "Oh my God, your hair is so lifeless and thin, just like my dog. Can I touch it?" And the white girl's like, "Ew, no, get away from me." Give them that. If that doesn't bring it home for
them. Wow. That is terrible. That's crazy. Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, yes. Okay. Well, then we have some homework to do. And I see Wings and Mumbo Sauce says she came in so late, so she's gonna have to run it back. Really interested in Brooke's work. Gonna check the website. Yeah. So, just something that we can all do. Check out the website. Is there anything, Brooke, that we can do to get involved with the Bias Rehab Center, or should we just be following on social media, or should we just be calling if we need you? What's the deal?
You know, if we're no, not right now. Right now, we're follow us on social media, tell people about what we're doing on YouTube, and feel free to keep us in your back pocket. We specifically built this because we knew we could help people and have those important conversations that like nobody is having, right? So yeah, just feel free to make us your resource and just kind of woo-saw off that frustration of having to deal with that again.
But that's it. She's gonna go eat some chicken and ask a Baxter if she can touch her hair. And that, you know what? I'm gonna pray for you right now. Oh God, y'all are crazy. Okay, well then, I would love to have you back for other conversations. Yes! If you were willing to come back, please.
I'll come back all the time. We'll be here next week.
well, it's a date. Where? Oh, my appointment book is over there. I don't. Well, all right then. Do you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta? Because we'll be talking about that next week.
No, I don't.
Let me see.
You see how
let me see. Yeah. Who's that? What is this? Who's he? Okay, hold on. Let me see what my little. I keep a little running list of possible topics to discuss. My guess is that if you don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, you probably were not really into love and hip hop Atlanta. And now this you might be able to see a clip and have an opinion, because this girl wasn't on there for long. Are you all familiar with Lovely Mimi from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and the situation that she was kind of trending for earlier this week? So she is an Asian woman who is, I don't know if they're married. Either she's married to a black man or has a black baby daddy and a couple of Asian kids or whatever. And she was on a live stream and she used the N-word on her live stream. And then she comes back and gives this half-ass apology. But basically, like, y'all know my ghetto ass be saying the word, but I have been like trying to not say it on my live streams. I've been not trying to say it in public, but y'all know my ghetto ass be using that word when I'm with my friends and everything. But what y'all not gonna do is come on here and call Lovely Mimi racist, because I give so many opportunities to black women. She owns a nail salon in Atlanta, and I guess she trains black nail techs or something, and so she feels like she's giving back to the black community or whatever. And so I wanted to just have a discussion about that, and the half-ass way that people apologize to black people. And because what I didn't like more than anything, beyond the half-assedness of her apology, was the fact that there were black women like, oh girl, it's all good. Like, what? Like, where is our self-respect? Where is our pride? Just because, she, does her hair in makeshift Afro puffs and has Blasian children does not make it okay to be using that word. And you don't get to call yourself not racist when you're running around using that word. And I'm sure that her black, husband, boyfriend, whatever, co-signs the shit. And so I want to have that discussion. Like, we got to stop taking everybody's freaking apologies. Like we kind of said earlier, everybody's not invited to the cookout. We got to stop that shit.
No more Timberlake apologies.
None of that. It makes black women look like clowns, and why are y'all following her on Instagram any fucking way? Like, I want to have that discussion. It's just amazing to me how, it's not amazing at this point. It's like, everyone knows that black people don't have any self-respect. So I'll talk to them any kind of way. I'll address them in ways that I won't address my own Latino or Asian or white community. Who's going to say anything? Who's going to check me, boo? Right. So it's just like, so I'll just give them whatever I've got and they're going to take it. And so like, no, girl, this is not, an apology. you know, she needs to be canceled. Like, I don't even know how many followers she has or whatever, but like, it shouldn't be any Black women following this girl, you know. There shouldn't be, but you know, I feel like, look, let me tell it. There's a lot of people Black women shouldn't be. I don't know why the hell Black women were ever following all them damn Kardashians. Like, they wouldn't have got all of their billions had it not been for Black women, you know, who are riding their dicks so hard, you know. Like, we got to cut that out, you know. And if we want to be seen as the standard for our own beauty, we have to appreciate our own beauty as well, you know. Like, yeah, you know, we got, you know, all these other kinds of women taking our body parts, taking our facial features, clocking ours out, even with wigs and everything, doing it like we do, wearing them like we wear. But for us, it's ghetto. For them, oh man, that's some hot shit. Like, you know, we got to take our own things back and stop pumping up these other women who use us for their clout. We got to stop. And so I just think that's another conversation I'd like to have, you know, but there's so many things I want to discuss with y'all, but you know.
I mean, there's only 24 hours in the day.
That is true. That is true. So yeah, let me get busy on some old school videos so that I can have something monetized on here, because ain't none of this shit about to be monetized. So let me get some old school videos cranked out, and then we can have more of these conversations, because I already know there's no way in hell. But,
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not you. It's always me. You know, I mean, if I super want to stream monetize and someone says something out of line, I'll just say, hey, please, will you not? You know, but it's always me. So yeah, my live streams, I don't really, you know, make much money from, but you know, it's my edited content. Thank God, you know, those get views and that, yeah, because Thai live is dangerous. So yeah.
This has been awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, so y'all, we're going to go in and call it a night. It's been 2.5 hours with the lovely Brooke Sinclair. And yeah, I'm with Loretta. If someone uses the N-word in your presence, you should always call it out. I am with you on that. And Georgia, yes, lovely Mimi makes her money from Black women. And so again, like Brooke was talking about, the power of the dollar, you know, like sometimes you don't even have to get out and hold up a protest sign or any kind of sign. Just put your money is the most powerful tool you have. And thank you so much, Loretta. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. Look, I'm always just glad y'all are here, because y'all, you know, a lot of y'all, some of y'all are here when the channel was on struggle. And I was like, yay, 6 people came today. All right. You know, and so I'm just happy that y'all are here. And so any money that you give me is just like icing on the cake. So I super duper appreciate, you know, any money y'all give me. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I'm just glad to, you know, be here having a conversation. But yeah, we got to do better. And there's so much power in our dollar, and not spending our dollar. Like, we can show people, you know, better than we can tell them that we don't like something. No one really cares about what we say anyway. But, you know, perhaps people will start to think differently when their pockets are getting a little bit thin, you know? So I think that that's another powerful discussion that we can have, you know, amongst ourselves. But I'm really super down to do that colorism live stream. So hopefully some of you all will email me or tell a friend if you're too shy, you know. I have another brown girl. Tell a light-skinned friend, tell a dark-skinned friend, come here and let's have a conversation. Let's have a real, you know, a real discussion. And I expect it to be really uncomfortable. I expect it to be a long conversation, but I expect that it will be the start of a conversation. I expect it to be a very long series, you know. And maybe, you know, look, maybe that'll be my contribution, you know, to things that I don't really think will end. I'll still put in a little bit of work towards, you know, ending the colorism problem. Do I think it will go away in my lifetime? I don't. But it's important enough to me, you know, for us to work on this, because Black women are the ones who bear the brunt of it. You know, Black men don't have it nearly as tough as we do with this. And so I'm willing to have that discussion. Let's see here. Let's see, what are y'all saying? Yeah, Georgia, look, we are embarrassing. That's all I can say. Sometimes we're just embarrassing, right? Can we call a thing a thing? That is what it is. Let's see here. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you all for coming and participating.
Everybody.
Thank you, Nakaya, for your call. I know you kind of felt like it was a bit of an imposition because you were talking about colorism, but that was a good call. That was a good call, and that's going to lead us to another conversation that we need to have. So I thank you for that. And just being brave enough to say that this is something that you have a problem with. Loretta says, please start a conversation on buying stocks with Ty. Well, hey, Alethea is going to have to come up and have that conversation. Now, I have the ability to trade stocks in my broker, but I only trade currency pairs. I don't I haven't gotten into any crypto coin, any of that. I haven't done any cryptocurrencies or anything, no commodities or anything. I only do currency pairs, and it's working for me. I have a lot to learn, but I've been a little bit more serious about the education in the last, couple of days. So I'm on my way. Look, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I sit up in the academy that Alethea is in, and I watch the traders. Look, there's one of them. He's very entertaining. He just got some new teeth, child. He has over 8 million in his bank account. He started with 500, just like I did, and he has over 8 million in 3 years. And so when he says to take a call, I take a call. When he says take a put, I take a put, and we make money together. We both, bid our, put our 2% down, and then we get our return. And yes, my 2% is $17.98, and his 2% is $250,000. But that's, it is what it is. I'll get there. But that is that. Thank you. That's Wings and Mumbo Sauce. That's her baby daddy, even though she's gay as hell. But that's my boyfriend, and that's our boyfriend, and he has enough finances to take care of all of us. So if y'all want a boyfriend with new teeth and $8 million, there he has more than enough to take care of all of us, and he'll help us make our own money. So y'all come up in here and get y'all some of this cash. But Alethea, I don't know if she's still in here. If somebody can, but email me if Alethea is not in here and you want to get in touch with her about that. We're in there making money together. There's a few of us in here who are making money with Alethea. Hi, April. Thank you for coming. Thank you for loving my blonde hair as I talk about, people trying to rip off Black women style. But whatever. Look, it is what it is. Y'all know how I do it. I do switch it up. And hey, Big Red, look, we don't take attendance. You're never late. Thank you for coming, and thank you again for your super chat that last Saturday. I appreciate that, and I did try to give it away. Alethea won, but she said to roll over the pot till this Sunday, so you are still a co-sponsor for this week's coming edition of IDGAF. I appreciate you so much, y'all. I'm laughing. Wings and Mama said he paid for me to be straight as a wet noodle.
What does that even
mean? In other words, she's not straight still. She's still gay as hell, but that's still her baby daddy. Look, our boyfriend's helping us make money. So he's just look, I follow a lot of different educators who make money on there. And because I have not done the education for myself. So can I take trades on my own? Not successfully. I can go in there, press numbers and buttons and lose my money. But so I just go in there and I follow people who know how to do it. But I am trying to get the education down because this is something that I want to do. I want to be able to do live trades in my members only, like come in there and y'all like come and trade with me, like just get your broker set up and like Ty know what she's doing now. We're gonna win some money together. Like I'm looking forward to doing that. So that's the next thing. And hi, Indy, are you tired? Can you give me 5? Can you give me 5? Yeah, my baby. That's her favorite new trick. Come on here.
She's like, I guess.
She just woke up. She's hungry. It's an hour past their dinner time. I'm gonna feed you. I promise. Okay. All right, y'all. And I told you she was gonna make an appearance. She did well because he used to be up here a few times, so she was tired. I tried to wear their little butts out before I came on this live stream because I didn't want them bothering me. Indy's always going to be the one. It's rarely Rocco. It's always Indy though. Always. She's going to be on here before I get off the stream. That's my little baby though. Okay, I'm gonna come feed you. Oh God, y'all. Indy. Brooke, thank you again. So you all please go and follow Brooke everywhere where you can follow her. Go and check out the Bias Rehab Center website. If you need help on your job, if you're experiencing microaggressions or macroaggressions on your job and you need someone to help out, that is what she's here for. This is more than just a live stream conversation. If you need her help outside of this, go there and go to her YouTube channel, which thankfully my moderators have put in the stream a lot. Go to her YouTube channel. I will be sharing the rest of her social media content. If you all are interested, I'll put it again in the description box for anybody who's going to watch this after we go live. If y'all want to come back here, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna when I log off of here, I'm going to talk to Brooke and I'll get that information so that I can go on and add that to the stream. Thank you, Nakaya, letting us know that she just subscribed. So yeah, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Support her over there. She will be back here. Let's see here. Yes, that's my fur baby. That's one of them. I had two of them. Oh God. And yeah, so we'll have her back here. I hope that we have some emails about the colorism conversation because she'll be back for that. But anytime I can think of a topic that I think, is kind of falls within the realm of what Brooke does, I'll ask her to come back. If she wants to come back, she can always say no, but she might say yes, we can have her back. Brooke, unless you have some closing words, that's all that I have. And I appreciate you for taking your time and coming and having the conversation with us. Oh, but there is one more thing, because I said at the end of the stream, so this is the one, all you freaking winos. I know that you all were trying to find out what was the tea on Brooke, because I was the one who spilled the beans about her alcoholic beverage company. So will you explain what's going on with that, Brooke?
Yes. So it's not specifically an alcoholic beverage company. Hey. No worries. So my primary job, the Bias Rehab Center, is my side hustle. My primary job is I run Valorit, the automated supply chain platform for the import-export industry. And essentially what that means is that we are giving commercial buyers in foreign countries a digital platform where they can order products and watch those products arrive from any smartphone or web device, similar to the concept of Drizzly, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. So we're streamlining the import-export process, beginning with the world's most regulated product, alcohol. Yeah.
We almost okay. Hold it first. Hi, Sapphire Diamonds and Pearls. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Awesome. Move, Indy. She is really trying to harass me, girl. Don't she? This dog. Jesus, y'all. I'm so sorry. So that is it. So basically, we need a commercial license to be able to purchase from Brooke, which I did not understand that when I mentioned her. So can you give us some samples, Brooke? Something like, damn, all I drink is Manischewitz, but yeah, that's $4 a bottle. So I do well. It's okay. It's okay.
Unfortunately, there are lots of direct-to-consumer platforms for alcohol, right? And most of the platforms, like even the most strenuous states, like Texas is a really hard state to move alcohol around in. but they lowered the standards for COVID and for Corona so that, you know, the breweries and stuff can stay open. So you could probably order beer online from your local craft brewery if that's a thing you do. So yeah, check it out.
Aki Hall. Oh wait, no, Big Red. So she's not saying rehab like give up my wine. No, not at all. She said she got worried. No, don't give up. Y'all are hilarious. Oh my God, y'all are too funny. No, keep drinking your wine. Keep drinking your wine. She's
keep the party going.
Y'all are too funny. Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. I had a thought in my head and it's gone. Oh, and I do see. Thank you, Lady B. Lady B has also shared the virtual store for Nakaya's Melaleuca store. So Nakaya, our caller who came on to talk about colorism, she has her own Melaleuca store. But Nakaya, if you're in here, if you'll drop your email, if you all are interested in her Melaleuca business, which is basically like clean living products. So I have ordered some. I have some cleaning products on the way. I have some supplements and lotion and all kinds of stuff on the way. She has that. And I would also like to do a live stream that would allow her to come on and discuss that, because we all need to do things a little bit better. There are lots of things that we could just kind of clean up in general. And she did come and give us some amazing information when I celebrated my 20K. And so we're going to do something. So if you are interested in health of any kind, whether it's body health, just, you know, clean living, whatever, and you would like to, I think that it would be a nice thing for us to have a panel, you know, on healthy living, whether it's, you know, working out, eating clean, you know, like, you know, having a chemical-free home, whatever, and you want to be a part of a panel like that, then also send me an email. And if there's some idea that you have for something that you want to see on the channel that I haven't mentioned, shoot me, you know, you can go to my website, TiSaidWhatTiSaid.com, and there's a suggestions list. So if you have a topic suggestion for an old school scandal story, if you have a topic suggestion for a live stream, maybe something you want to see, or maybe something you even want to be a part of, you want to come here and present something, let me know. And my channel members, y'all who pay a subscription to watch me when y'all could be paying for Hulu and Netflix and all this other stuff, y'all damn sure have me. Like, y'all help keep the lights on. So if y'all want to like present something, y'all got your business or something, you know, let me know. And the only reason that I'm not promoting y'all is because I don't know what y'all are doing. So let me know, because I'm gonna go above and beyond for y'all, because y'all are literally paying a subscription for me, and y'all don't even take advantage of all the stuff I do for y'all. Like, we had what is today? Wednesday, Monday, we had 3 people in the members only stream. Like, I put out content specifically for y'all. Y'all get my uploads early. A lot of you who are at the upper tiers, y'all get my hair growth oil and my hair growth spray. So like, y'all get that because I'm in control of sending out your perks packages, but the things that you all have access to, y'all don't even tap into it. So I kind of feel like y'all are just helping a sister out. Like, y'all don't even really want the stuff. We just like Ty, so let me throw her $5 a month, you know, and I appreciate it. Look, I will take it. But and you know, y'all get, you know, your raffles, you know, y'all get the 2 raffles, y'all get the higher amount gift cards, but there's so much more you can take advantage of that y'all don't. So I just appreciate y'all. So if you've got something you want me to promote, your social media, your YouTube channel, which, by the way, Alethea has her YouTube channel, The Twitterholic. Y'all go and check her out there, support her. She just talks about trending topics, and she shares the funny tweets about trending topics. So y'all go check her out. I share her videos all the time. If I have a moderator who will put Alethea's channel in the site, please, you know, in the chat, please do that. But whatever y'all want from me, y'all got me. But my, you know, regular subscribers, casual viewers, I'm here to provide content for you as well. So if there are things that you're not seeing that you want to see, a discussion you want to have, let me know and I'll get it out for you. Y'all want Brooke to come back? I will, hit her up on Twitter and see if she'll come, whatever y'all want. I'm willing to do it. I'm really open. But wait, hold up. I see somebody saying they lost 50 pounds. Oh, go ahead, Big Red. That's awesome. Okay, so everybody's talking about losing belly fat. Look, I just ordered my Polar FT4, and so so I have Sharn. I'm sorry, I have Wings and Mumbo Sauce, Nakaya, and Alethea, and Lady B. They have expressed interest in having a fitness accountability group. I sent an invite on MyFitnessPal, and Alethea and Nakaya got it. You actually have to go into the app to see the invite. So I will send it to Lady B as well. Wings and Mumbo Sauce, if you don't mind checking the MyFitnessPal app to see if you have an invitation from me. That might be where we hold our fitness accountability, but I feel like it's going to be a worst case scenario. I'm going to have to get on GD Facebook. Why am I not? Freaking Facebook and do the group there. I think that's what it's going to come to. But I ordered my Polar FT4 fitness watch that I love. It's discontinued, but I found it on some site called Mercari. Some guy had a new one and he wanted $119 for it. I offered him $90. He took my offer, so I'm getting that. And what I love is that this watch, it seems to be so accurate and counting the calories that you burn when you work out. And so that, in conjunction with MyFitnessPal, you cannot lose other than pounds. Like, you're going to win at hitting your goal. You're going to lose weight. Get away from me, Indy. I'm not playing with you. Go away. But here's how you use it. So when you use MyFitnessPal, you tell it, okay, this is what I weigh. This is how much I want to weigh. And this is how fast I want to weigh that. Now, it only will give you recommendations to losing as much as 2 pounds a week. So you can say, I want to lose a half a pound or a pound or a pound and a half or 2 pounds. And then it'll say, okay, well, then based on your lifestyle, what you weigh now, then you have to eat this many calories every day and you have to burn this many calories every day. And then you go in there, you log what you eat, you log your calories burned for your workout. And if you don't have a fitness watch like I'm getting, then go. I mean it. She's so annoying. Okay. And then if you don't have a fitness watch like I have, then it will estimate what the calories burned were, if you tell it what you did, like, I jogged for 30 minutes and then it'll put it in there. But when I tell y'all the mathing over there, like, it adds up and I lose my 2 pounds or more per week when I follow what the guidelines are. And then even with your meals, you might kind of have to guess calories a little bit. Well, okay, I know a slice of bread is this many calories, but I had some mayo. I don't know how, but if you go out to eat, let's say you go to Wendy's and you get a triple meat bacon burger, those menu items all of those menu items are most likely logged into MyFitnessPal already. So you can just go to the menu item and then it'll track your calories for you. It makes it so simple. And you really cannot lose at winning. You will lose your weight, but it's a really, really good site. So that's where I would like to keep the fitness accountability community. And I don't want to call it weight loss because everybody doesn't have the same goals. Some people, I've never been that girl, but some people actually want to gain weight. I've never had that as a problem. Not my struggle. But whatever it is, maybe you just want to maintain, or maybe you just want to be, held accountable to just, working out every day, or, whatever. We're doing that over there. So hit me up if you're interested in anything that I told you, that we have going on, or if there's something that, you want to do that I haven't mentioned, let me know that as well. I am here for y'all. I love, everybody, who comes to this channel. I appreciate y'all, but, because I have a heart for my women, and there's just not enough people out here really doing things for us. So I hope that's a void I can fill in some kind of way, we need it. We need it. So let's see here. So I see a lot of people talking about, fitness, accountability, their food, and all this stuff. Okay, you just signed up. Loretta. Okay, Loretta, if you want to be a part of our fitness accountability group, shoot me an email, and I'll send you the invitation. If you want to be in it with us, doesn't mean you want it from me, but you know,
she's in deficit. She owes calories.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you're in deficit, that's not a bad thing. So so let's say it says, okay, you're going to have to eat 1,200 calories, and then you need to burn 900 calories. Okay, but let's say you burn 900 calories, but you only ate 1,100 calories. But you don't, that doesn't mean you have to eat another 100 calories, you know, or maybe, you know, you only need to burn 900 calories, but you ended up burning 1,200 calories, you know.
Okay,
so that deficit, that in that deficit is more weight loss, you know. So
okay,
so
good,
yeah, it's not a bad thing. Now, you know, typically it does want you to eat those, but yeah, it calls it a deficit, but the deficit is not a bad thing,
Okay.
you know. It's not a bad thing, but there should be a deficit. That your weight loss is always in the deficit. So of where you burn more than you ate, you know, hopefully. So yeah. So, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good. Hey, I love y'all too. I love y'all too. Big Red, y'all are amazing, and I really want to have the colorism conversation with you. So yeah, look, that's all that I got, y'all. I'm spent. Y'all see, I'm losing my words, child. I got my mind on my money on my mind. About to go see Wings and Mumbo Sauce Baby Daddy, my boyfriend, Alethea's boyfriend, Nakaya's side man, because she get married. I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble. It's just for money, James, in case you're watching this stream. Just money, you know, James, because you be on there too. He's both of y'all side boyfriend. He helps us get the bag. So we're about to go get on there and trade. If y'all are interested in that, holler at Alethea or else email me and I'll get in touch with her for you. But yeah, look, we trying to be where the money resides this year. We don't have time to be broke. We don't have time, you know. We were out here in Texas with pipes falling out the walls. When them pipes fall out the walls, the next time it freezes, we got to get them replaced. Okay, we don't have time. The brokenness, there's just no place for it. I bind and rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Now that's really literally all I have. Brooke, you got anything? I'm gonna sit down here with you for a couple of minutes. I'm be sure to get your social media, and I will add that to this stream. And I'll do a community post tomorrow. So just in case you don't want to come, you know, back here and look, I'll do a community post so y'all can see that as well tomorrow. But Brooke, unless you have something, I really am done. I promise.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for coming and trusting me with your questions. I loved it, and I'll see you soon.
All right. That's all that we have, y'all. Holler. Thank y'all so much. Have a good rest of your week. I will be back on at some point. I don't know if we'll do another Saturday night slumber party. I'll put a poll out there for y'all to see if Saturday night or Friday night is better, or if y'all prefer Saturday morning. And we'll just get one of these little bullshit ass topics out the way. We can talk about lovely Mimi or Block and his old sorry ridiculous ass, but we'll put it out there and y'all just see. Y'all let me know what y'all want to do. Beyond that, be on the lookout for my old school gossip video that'll be out either Saturday or Sunday. And then Sunday Fun Day, we know we'll come back and do that. Somebody's going to win the pot if they decide to take it for IDGAF, and we're going to have some gift cards to give away and even some more jewelry because Angela hooked us up with a lot of jewelry from her paparazzi store. Y'all check out that sister too because she donated a lot for our 20K giveaway. So let's just support our Black business women who are helping out the channel, you know, just with a little something to give away. All right, y'all. That's all that I got for tonight. For real. So I'm going to log out. I love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Thank y'all so much for coming and supporting the channel. Good night, everybody. Love y'all. Holler.